Hello. So, stream time, games, Shadowrun, Hong Kong. We ended last session talking to so many people, and there's still more people to talk to before we can officially go on our next run. Like I kind of mentioned, there's a couple of plot important characters where if we do want to go to, I don't know if I would call it a secret ending, but maybe like, basically one of the endings that is definitely you have to work for. Like, you do have to do a little bit of legwork, talking with different people, getting involved, and making choices and stuff like that. So, I do want to keep that option open if I do want to go down that path. I don't know if I will, because I don't want to spoil, in my opinion, kind of a pretty neat ending. But, I don't know. We'll see. That's why I want to just at least keep that option open. And the dogs say hello too. So, let's get this show on the road, if the dogs will let me. They're communicating back and forth. Oh, right. So the mic doesn't double echo. Eventually I'll get used to the whole stream thing. Before I begin though, I do think I'm going to just double check, or at least I'll let the game start loading. Okay. Because it does take a little bit to load up. Yeah, so I'm going to check on the dogs and see what got their attention. I'll be right back while this loads. What has gotten your attention, little bunnies? Hong Kong right now. We're so busy shooting them. Well, not shooting, he's slashing people up really. And using magic. Like you would. There you go. Oh no. Oh no. Wrong toy. Wrong toy. Oh no. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. There it is. There we go. Gotta hide the squeaks. Otherwise he'll be squeaking all day. Alrighty. Chair looks like it's sad. Whoops. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is a sad chair. Sad chair stream. Okay, so we're about to go into this club, the Club 88, and talk with club folks. Alright, Henry Cafe. There's only one way to describe the troll haunting the back of Club 88. Weathered. It's as if the man had been carved from granite and then battered by the crash of waves and salty winds over the course of decades. Welcome to Club 88. No killing, no fighting, no sex. And no fun, I take it. Depends on the sort of fun you're looking for, I guess. If you're looking for guns, speak to my wife. If you're looking for pharmas, speak to my son Callum. And if you're looking for trouble, you'll be seeing my son Frederick. Briefly. And what should I speak to you about? Nothing. I just steer the ship. What? Oh, what? We're getting raided. What is this? I have never had a raid before. Oh no. Alright. Podwick, where are you at? Help. Help me defend them. Bosco. Hunter Kitty. Ah! Hello, hello. Welcome to my stream. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna. Alright. Welcome to me streaming Shadowrun Hong Kong. I am playing a troll mage swordsman because that's what chat wanted. And if you're not familiar with Shadowrun, you will be pretty soon. Right now I'm in the middle of a lot of dialogue and chatting, so welcome everyone. I hope you enjoy. I'm only doing a voice for our main guy, who is named after one of my dogs, Pod Wick, a la John Wick, but his street name is Slain, and I talk like this because it hurts my throat, and that's great. But anyways, yeah. Oh, shirt, yes, thank you. This is something that my love friend got me because she thinks I am adorable. We actually got twin shirts, but she thinks it's goofy to be twinsies, and I understand that. Whenever I do get her to dress up like in the same shirt, or like we have like one a pair of dinosaur shirts. One says "low," the other one says "v." So we put them, we stand together and it's like love, love. Anyways, on to the game. So, there's always a ship. I'll leave you be. Alright, and then Callum. Better groomed than most of his kind, this young troll nonetheless ruins the effort with his own blatant drunkenness. His eyes are red and his expression foggy, but he otherwise appears to be high-functioning. Have a drink, friend. Have two. Then maybe something else to chase it, eh? I think you may have drunk it all. And why shouldn't I? It's my right. I'm the Prince of Club 88. Chosen, you might say. You are the family that owns this place. You're a shrewd one, friend. I am the heir apparent. And my birthright? To peddle chems to every sniffer that passes through our gates. What do you say? Need something to pick you up or bring you down? Let's see what you have. Crap. Alright, cool. Bye! Double doors, couple of turrets pointing right my way. That's going to be great. Alright. Ermine, the older troll woman, has a striking Amazonian quality. When she was younger, she must have really turned heads. Like mine. I'm like, As a troll myself, I'm like, oh, hello, how are you? I do a smart, intelligent voice whenever, because I actually have pretty high charisma for a troll. I pumped my first few points into charisma, so whenever we come up against like academics or like high fancy socialites, I actually get to surprise them and show off my intelligence, and it's really funny when I do, because they're like, huh, you're pretty smart for a troll, or you're pretty classy for a troll. Anyways, can I help you? I'm usually beyond helping, but what can you offer? Guns, or a swift kick out the door if you mess with me or mine. This is my family's place. Me, my husband, and our two boys. Now, do you have business with me? I have no time for window shoppers. What have you got for sale? Firearms from all over the world, from Ares to Walther and everything in between. You in the market? Let's take a look. I'm not a gunsman. I'll take a look anyways. Crack. Wait. Oh, I thought that was a sword for a second. Crack. What's your outfits? Ooh. Well, I already did get an outfit. Come back anytime. Anything else you need? What can you tell me about Hoy? There's only one thing you need to know. The corporations do not rule Hoy. We're under Kindly Cheng's umbrella, and her Yellow Lotus soldiers protect the docks and maintain the peace. But we're not Triad members, and they don't own us. Hoy is a crossroads, or is a crossroads rather, where goods change hands and deals are made. Kindly makes the market, but we, the families, make it happen. Ermine speaks with the pride of a woman who bows politely to great powers, but never prostrates herself before them. Families rebuilt this place when it was left to rot. Strong families, like mine, and we protect our own. Outsiders and corps know that tangling with Hoy is more trouble than we are worth. The Triads know it's better to work with us than against us, and now you know these things as well. You would do well to remember them. Now, are you looking to buy?
I'll leave you be.
Very well. Was there something else?
I said I'll leave you be. Goodbye.
Yeah, you can kind of see our outfit right now. Yeah. I took a shamanic monk outfit. So it gives us decent armor. Better than the crap we were wearing earlier, but yeah. Alright. So that's that. And then I think we are on... Yeah. So we're finally about to start our story. Like I said, we basically chatted with people for like an hour and a half last stream to kind of do some story elements and stuff. And yeah, thank you for everyone who was patient enough to kind of bear with me and talking with everyone. So, but we have just a few more people to talk with. Our crew, the most important people. Duncan is our bro, figuratively, I guess, kind of. Anyways, Wu's cabin appears to be the only clean spot on the boat hole. His equipment is laid out on his bedding, grouped by type, arranged just so. He's currently in the process of cleaning his weapon with meticulous care. Well, that's that, I guess. We're runners now.
I forgot to ask about benefits. Think we can get medical and dental care?
He stops for a moment, stares at the weapon in his hand. Damn, I don't think we took the brochure. We'll have to ask for it next time we have an audience with our Chinese syndicate crime lord. He looks down at the barrel of his gun, blows into it. You look like you want to talk about something. What's the topic?
I can't get that dream I had out of my head. You said you had one too, right?
Yeah, yours sounded like the nasty one. I don't remember much about mine. I was pretty creeped out by our run into the walled city. Between that and all the drama, I'd be surprised if I didn't have a nightmare.
Was the walled city in your dreams?
Of course the walled city was in my dreams. It was a nightmare, wasn't it? Gives you a lopsided grin. Was it in your dreams too?
Slums start to look like after a while, right?
It may look similar, but the walled city felt different, Pod. Thick, heavy, and overrun by, I don't know, wretchedness, I guess. Whatever, it was walled city in my dream, for sure.
Do you feel driven from other nightmares that you've had?
Takes his time, thinks about his answer a bit before responding. You know how sometimes you'll be mad at a friend in a dream and then wake up and still be mad at him, looking at me because he's still mad at me? Anyways, then you treat him like he did something wrong when you see him? Kind of feels like that to me. Like I dreamed I was swimming towards a bright light, and when I woke up, I was out of breath from the effort.
What do you remember about your dream?
Just little snatches of things. Walled City was breathing, and it had teeth everywhere. There was a tunnel that was so bright I had to shut my eyes, and Raymond was there. He was either kneeling or lying down, I can't remember which, but he was crying. That's what made me wake up, the sound of my father crying. And also, Raymond was the one who basically raised me and Duncan, my character in Duncan's. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about being Shadowrunners. What's there to say? I worked my ass out to pull myself out of the gutter and make something of myself. I did what it took to earn my bronze, his badge, because he was a cop. And now I'm a mercenary hiding in the shadows of a foreign country doing dirty jobs that the corps need to keep off the books. It's the reverse of everything I ever wanted. You seem to be taking it pretty damn well, so let me ask you something. You said you had nothing back home, and that's why you were cool with becoming a runner. Was that true? Let's... Yeah, so we can actually kind of dictate our backstory by our story dialogue options. Let's go with, yeah.
You know it's true. When I got out of that prison, I had nothing. I still have nothing.
That's bleak. Seriously bleak. We really went in different directions, Pod. You to jail and me to Lone Star. Well, I get that you got nothing back home, but this is all about Raymond for me. I need to understand what happened to him and who's responsible. I need justice.
What's your opinion of kindly Cheng?
I'd say she's got us right where she wants us, right under her thumb. What do you want to talk about specifically?
What about this plastic-faced man?
Creepy dudes are nothing new to me, even well-dressed creepy corporate dudes. Between the gangers we grew up with and the shit that I've run into as a cop, I've seen all kinds. I just want to know who he is and who he works for.
What do you think kindly wants from us?
As long as her network keeps delivering information about Raymond, I don't care. At least for now. We need to stay with her. We have no other connections in Hong Kong. Without her, we're dead in the water.
You think we can trust her?
A triad boss and an underground fixer? No, I don't think we can trust her. But as long as we all share the same goals, we should be okay.
Makes sense. As long as we serve her interests, she doesn't have a reason to screw us over.
Exactly, it's simple. She provides jobs, we do jobs. She gets info about Raymond and that plastic-faced man, we figure out what the hell's going on. We figure out what's going on, she doesn't end up in the trunk of a car at the bottom of the river. Everybody wins.
We should keep an eye on Strangler Bow.
We should keep an eye on everybody, and that guy is definitely no exception. I've seen plenty of cold killers in the Barrens, and plenty more since I joined Lone Star. This guy's the real deal. I'm not even sure he knows what the word remorse even means. You should steer clear of him.
Screw that guy.
I'm just trying to watch your back, since you don't appear to be doing a very good job of it.
Let's talk about something else.
Sure, if you want.
I want to talk about Raymond.
Our dad. Okay, shoot.
Do you say anything about me after I left?
You know Raymond, Pod. He taught us what he wanted to teach us. Told us that what he wanted us to know. Everything else was met with a wall of good-natured silence. He used to say, "You're the master of the unspoken word, Mr. Wu. Once it is out of your mouth, it is out of your control." So no, after you left, he never said a word about you. Not a word.
Why do you think he came to Hong Kong?
Well, he's from here, right? Sounds like he had unfinished business that he needed to take care of before... You think he's dying?
I don't know.
Yeah, me either. Just something to think about.
What do you think going on with him?
I don't know, Pod. He's clearly obsessed with the walled city and whatever prosperity is. He sounds like a sleepwalker trying to stumble his way through a dream or something. A sleepwalker who hires Shadowrunners.
Whatever he was doing, he knew it would be dangerous.
Raymond was smart. Smart as hell. We thought he needed runners to take him into that place, he needed them.
Okay, let's talk about Gobbin and Isabel.
They seem competent considering how young they are, but then again, they sound like they've been taking care of themselves since they were pretty young. 3 of us work together well in the walled city. Based on that, I bet the 4 of us would make a solid crew.
You trust them?
As far as I trust any runner, yeah, it's like Raymond used to say, trust and verify. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them, so until they do, I'll believe what they say and keep my eyes open.
Let's talk later.
Later's good. I want to do some cardio, work off some steam, then it's rack time for me. You should do the same, Pod. A couple hundred push-ups would do you good. Do you see me right now? I'm almost twice your size. Buddy.
Please, I could bust out 200 in my sleep.
You're raising an eyebrow. I'd love to see that sometime, but for now, you should clear out. I want to get started, and this cabin isn't big enough for 2. Alright. Let's go up the stairs. Isabel, our Decker, rather. Isabel's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous, jury-rigged computer. Serpentine cables snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together into a single colossal machine. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for your mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in the guts of an obsolete cyberdeck, one of a half dozen that have been wired into her computer with braided cables.
Actually, I was hoping to talk to you. Got a sec?
There's a long pause, then she chirps out a response. We're talking now, aren't we?
I guess so, yeah. Can I ask you a few questions?
She leans in, scrutinizing the innards of the obsolete deck. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you.
Have you been having weird dreams recently?
Her body goes still. Yes, I think that everybody has.
You want to tell me what your dream was about?
Not particularly. I don't remember much anyway. I've gotten good at forgetting things related to that place. So you should begin rummaging through the guts of the obsolete cybernetic again. I'm not interested in talking about my dreams, Slane. I just want to work on my computer in peace.
That is quite a machine you're working on. Care to tell me about it?
She's my pet project. I call her the Octopus. You might be able to guess why.
Do you do all this yourself?
Mm-hmm. She yanks a fried chip from the deck's motherboard and neatly sets aside and fumbles in a nearby bin for a replacement. I had to make do with whatever I could find as a kid. It taught me a lot about being self-sufficient.
What's this thing made of?
Whatever I could find. Busted terminals, obsolete cyberdecks, aftermarket memory from Maximum Law's dumpster. Scavengers out there would kill for this stuff in the walled city. But out here, people just throw it away. She took this to herself as she eases a cart into an empty expansion slot. Most deckers are early adopters. They buy whatever's newest, shell out huge amounts of million in hopes of riding the bleeding edge. Stupid.
Why?
Because I can have 5 of last year's model for a quarter of the price of that whiz new cyberdeck. And after I finish daisy chaining them together, the machine that I built will run circles around your hot new deck.
Yeah, and you'll need a flatbed truck to carry it.
Do we look like we're hurting for space to you? She rummages in a bin to her left and pulls out a stick of solid state memory. It disappears into the deck that she's working on. I've got a whole boat to work with, your cabin included, if I told Gobbet I needed it.
You wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I could if I wanted to, though.
What about your portable gear, your cyberdeck software, that kind of thing?
It gets the job done. Might not be top of the line, but I'm comfortable using it in the field. If you should happen to come across any more advanced hardware or software, either on the job or on the discount rack at Law's Techno Palace, I'm not about taking donations, but barring that, I'm fine using what I've got. Your call.
Can we talk about the ambush at Victoria Harbor?
I'd rather not. I lost friends there.
Duncan and I didn't come out of the attack unscathed either. They shot Carter down, same as your friends.
Was she your friend? You didn't seem that close. She returns her attention to the octopus, turning her back on you. Z, I think every person's name is exposition. And yeah, sorry that there is a lot of talking at the moment. We're just going to talk to Gobbet and then shoot to the next run, so.
You don't like talking about things other than your computer very much, do you?
There's a long pause before she responds. When she does, she sounds vaguely hurt. I prefer not to. Nothing personal, it's just the way that I am.
If you say so.
I do. I've always been shy. When I was a kid, when it was a kid, you are not a thing. You are a person. You are, give yourself self-esteem. You're not a thing. You are a valid person. Valid. Mood. Yeet. I don't know. I'm just showing. Anyways, when I was a kid, it was a survival strategy. Now it's part of me, and I'm at peace with that. She turns, gives you her full attention. But I'll tell you what, Slane. I'm going to make you a deal. You've pulled me away from what I was doing, so I'll satisfy your curiosity. In exchange, you need to satisfy mine. So we're going to play a game of questions. You answer me truthfully, and I'll answer you. We'll go back and forth until one of us wants to quit. Deal?
Deal. You go first. Ask away.
She says your face. We'll start off easy. Tell me what you really think about Duncan. Yeah, I want to keep Duncan as kind of a core part of the team. So you can have 4 people, and I think Duncan's going to be the one I take with me every mission. So as long as I can. But I'm not going to be like too like over the moon about him. But
he can be a pain in the ass, but he's like a brother to me.
Interesting. Her eyes flit to the doorway of Gobbet's cabin. The corner of her mouth tilts upward into a slight smile, and a little familiar. Well, you've answered my question. I guess that makes it your turn.
How did you and Gobbet meet?
frozen. After a moment, she screws her eyes shut. We met as kids in the walled city. My prison was her playground.
You okay, Isabel?
Of course I'm okay. I'm fine. She says her gaze to the octopus. I just have a hard time remembering those days. My childhood is kind of a blur. And now we make it my turn. So tell me, what was your connection to Raymond Black? I guess
He was like a father to me and Duncan. He got us out of the Barrens.
in that case, I'm sorry for your loss. Losing the ones that you love is hard. Your turn. Ask me a question, I'll give you an answer.
How long you been running the shadows with Gobbet?
That's a good question. I guess about 4 years now. A decent stretch by anyone's reckoning. And that brings us back to my turn. You enjoy it, don't you? Living like this, working the shadows.
This is survival. I do what I have to. Enjoyment doesn't come into it.
She blinks. We may have more in common than I thought. Your turn. Go ahead. Ask me something.
Where'd you learn to deck?
The one Poa. I lived there for a while after escaping the walled city. The people there were difficult. We didn't get along, but it was a great place to learn. My turn again. And I think my last question for you. You're stuck here, marooned, you and Duncan both. He's obviously unhappy with the situation. He keeps going on about the things he left behind, but what about you? Is there anything that you want to get back to?
Nothing worth mentioning. Truth be told, I'm enjoying the change of scenery.
Nothing? There isn't anything about your old life that you'd miss? I don't know whether to envy you or feel sorry for you. She glances down at the clock on her deck, an antique model with physical hands that looks like it's wrenched out of a submarine. A frown spreads across her face. Shit, it's even later than I thought, and I've still got a long way to go before the octopus is fixed. She begins to turn away, her attention fixed on the stack of partially disassembled cybernetics screen in front of her.
Aren't you forgetting something?
She stops in place, fidgets. You've got a question, go ahead and ask, but be quick about it.
I need you to tell me what you can about the walled city.
Her voice goes cold. Why?
Because Raymond Black wanted to go in there, and somebody destroyed my life to keep him from doing that.
Her cheeks flush, just like they did the last time. She averts her eyes. No, I'm sorry, but no. Later maybe, but not now.
Isabel, please. This is important.
Yes, but please excuse me, I have work to do. And that'll be important later, for real. Gobbet, hello. Probably not going to make Gobbet really important to my party, but we'll see. Gobbet's nest is pretty much what you'd expect. Piles of clothes on the ground, and overflowing garbage bins surrounded by stacks of instant noodle packets, and towers of tinned oysters. Avant-garde posters haphazardly thumbtacked to the walls, overlapping in some places and peeling in others. Feels a lot like an art school dorm room. Gobbet reclines in a corner, cradling a bowl of soup in her hands. At her feet, a cast iron pot simmers away on an electric hot plate. The contents are typical Hong Kong comfort food. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, and a heaping scoop of egg-flavored mycoprotein. As you wind your way through the piles of dirty laundry, Gobbet slowly lifts her head from her bowl to acknowledge you. Hey, Seattle! She chews in the words along with a mouthful of cheap pasta. The corner of her mouth curls up into a half smile. How's tricks?
My entire life just got erased and the cops want me dead. So I'm doing great. You?
Oh, everything's just ducky over here. My friends are dead, and I'm on my boss's shit list because of it, and I can't even eat a bowl of soup in peace. She skims an oily slab of faux ham off the top of her soup and pops it into her mouth. Chewing thoughtfully, she looks back up with you with a smile. So, it's all good, Seattle. I'm as happy as a clam, just like you are. Now you want to tell me what you're doing in my bedroom? I'm assuming you're not here to admire the view. Let's go about the nightmares.
Have you had any nightmares lately? Like, bad ones?
Her jaw stops working mid-chew. Slowly she nods. Yeah. Yeah, I have. We all have. Everyone in town.
Everyone, huh? Doesn't that strike you as odd?
Sure does, but then lots of other stuff happens in Hoy. She got a furtive glance over her shoulder. In case you haven't gotten the memo, we aren't in the best part of town. In all seriousness, the dreams are coming from inside the walled city. I'm pretty sure of that. All the negative energy pent up in there, all that pain and anger and poisonous chi, it's leaking out. And while we sleep, it's getting into us.
You think this is a magical phenomenon then?
Yeah, I think it is. Well, my personal opinion, walled city is cursed. Deep down, I think that everybody knows it, and we live in its shadow. That's bound to mess with your head, you know? And it is, but they're just dreams, and it's not like they can hurt us, right?
Who says that they can't?
She tries on to smile, fails, does her best to laugh it off. Don't worry, Seattle. We're fine here, but let's talk about something else. I don't like thinking about Walled City very much. Too many old fears and bad feelings.
How'd you decide on the name Gobbet, anyway?
I didn't. My mom did.
So, Gobbet isn't your given name? Your mother named you after a wad of meat?
Yeah, sure. I don't think she knew what it meant. She just thought it sounded pretty. You should get used to that, by the way. People here in Hong Kong like to stand out, and choosing unique names is one of the ways they do it.
If you're up to talking about it, I wanted to go over the ambush back in the docks with you.
Yeah, I figured you would. That was a hell of a thing, right?
I'd go a little further than that. It was a clusterfuck of epic proportions.
Yeah, that it was. Nitro and Gutshark were two of the strongest men I've ever known. Quality Shadowrunners, both of them. Watch those two fight through situations that kill anyone and come out on top. And how do they go out? Or mind scoping the mic like this, so more like that. Bang, bang, dead, dead. No blaze of glory, no final speech, just extinguished. Smashed like spubs.
We'd have gone the same way if you hadn't gotten us out of there.
She accidentally raised her bowl to her shoulder. A rat crawls over the slope of her back and lowers his head to lap at the broth. It was more rat than me. She was the one who grabbed me by the gut and led us to that sewer entrance. All that I did was follow.
I'd like to learn more about rats, I guess. I hate shamans, but whatever. What kind of totem is she?
She looked slothfully at her soup. Clever one. She's got me out of more trouble than I care to mention. Got me into a fair amount of it too, but I can always count on her to leave me out of hot water when I need her to. I'm feeling in my belly, you know? It's sort of a tugging sensation. I've long since learned to follow it.
I wasn't aware that totems took such direct control of their shamans.
Usually they don't. Me and Rat, we have a sort of special bond. She takes care of me, and I've always done my best to take care of her. Another pair of beady eyes blinks up at you from Gobbet's hit. A second rat scurries up her shoulder to join the first. And to pamper earthly children like these two, meet madness and folly.
Hi, rats.
They say hi. She presses her fingers across the white rat's modded coat. Don't trust folly. She bites.
How'd you come across madness and folly?
Look outside. I mean, they're rats. Hong Kong isn't experienced with rodents or anything.
So you just pick them up off the street?
Yep, think of them as a rescue vermin. You could probably do the same if you wanted to. It's easy. Just walk into any alleyway in Kowloon after a sundown and stick your hand in the first dumpster or storm drain you come across. Keep fishing around till you find fur.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
Yeah, in retrospect it might have been. She continues to brush Folly's coat. The creature chirps happily at her touch. Odds are about 50-50 that you'd get your hand sheared off. I'd probably feel bad about that.
You seem pretty comfortable with all this. Been wearing the shadows for a while?
Long time. Started when I was a kid.
You're still a kid, Gobbet. What are you, 19?
She shoulders shrugs. Something like that. Your guess is as good as mine. Doesn't change the fact that I've been doing this for years, and you started yesterday. Matter of fact, Seattle, I think I'm going to make a project of you. take you under my wing, so to speak. You need a wizened mentor. Might as well be me.
Sure, why not? I could use the advice, and I don't see Isabel volunteering for the job anytime soon.
You're in? Good. Starting the next time you visit, I'm going to teach you all about being a Shadowrunner. You're gonna benefit from my bountiful experience. Wait and see.
Lucky me.
Gobbet stretches, stifles another yawn. Her rats scurry from her shoulders down to her hips. She taps the simmering pot on the floor with her boot. The soup inside is reduced down to a thick, vicious gravy. Viscous. You know, Seattle, this has been a nice chat and all, but it's getting late and I still have the rest of a hot pot to power through. So without wanting to get this awkward...
Say no more, I'll get out of here. Take it easy, Gobs.
Yeah, you too. Alright, so actually... Careful, Mentor. Yeah, mentors do die, and this might be my Stormy, if you ever watch C-Lab. You hear that, Stormy? Ooh. Hatch is now open. Ah, God. Okay. So, one more person to talk with. Remember that crazy Russian that was mentioned last stream? Well, this is the crazy Russian. Raktor. It's oppressively hot down here, and the air is full of synthetic odors that grab you by the sinuses and refuse to let go. You can smell engine grease and melting plastic, ionized air, and lead solder. A quick scan of the room tells you why. The downstairs tenant has converted this space into a machine shop. Metal fabrication tools and Duraclass extruders line the wall, and a pair of heavy industrial manipulators hang from the ceiling. A man in a black trench coat stands with his back to you, staring at a monitor mounted above a sturdy workbench. He addresses you without turning. Ah, I was wondering when I'd meet the new neighbor. His voice is pleasant, cultured. There's a hint of Russian accent there, but it's buried under layers of nuance. Please stay where you are. I'll be with you in just a moment, and unless you fancy an unplanned trip to Chrome Alley, don't touch anything. There are all manner of tools in here that can take your hand clean off.
Thanks for the warning.
Don't mention it. I have no interest in seeing anyone hurt in my shop, especially not my upstairs neighbor. Examine robotic arms. You focus on the enormous manipulator arms that you saw earlier. They're bulky industrial things, dented from years of heavy use. Each arm has been fitted with at least a dozen different welders, soldering guns, extruders, and metal fabrication tools. You've seen machinery like this in factories before, but they look terribly out of place in Bolt's cramped engine room. Very good, yes. That's coming along nicely. Very nicely indeed. Yep, you look normal. He turns to you, smiling. For the first time you can see his face. He has broadly handsome Slavic features and a chiseled jaw. His eyes are like flecks of ice. Sorry I kept you waiting, Mr.
Wick. Podwick. Good to meet you.
And you as well. Now tell me, what can I do for... His voice trails off as flash motion catches his eye. With alarming speed, a sinister-looking drone scatters out from under the work table. Its movements are surprisingly agile and fluid. The machine rears back menacingly, spreading its forelegs in a clear sign of aggression. The man's smile tilts and his tone goes apologetic. Please don't mind the drone. He can be territorial. But so long as you remain civil, he will not bite. He hastens in hand. Simultaneously, the drone relaxes into a neutral position, lowering its killing legs. Raktor. My mechanical counterpart here is called Koshe. I'll be polite.
A pleasure.
His hand is rough and abnormally warm to the touch. He shakes your hand with a solid grip. I am very pleased to meet you, my friend. In a community such as Oi, it's important to be on good terms with one's neighbors.
Agreed. Speaking of which, I'd like to ask you some questions if you have the time.
He glances at the bracer in his forearm, a technical display winks to life, then gutters out. Very well. This morning's casting should still be cooling for a few minutes yet. That's enough time to talk.
Koshe is a very interesting name for a drone.
Yes, excuse me. I suppose that it is. Not many riggers would name their most prized possession after a villain from a fairy tale. Not to my heritage, I suppose. Yes, I know the story that you're talking about, actually. His smile widens. Oh, how marvelous! I hadn't thought to meet anyone well versed in the Russian classes here in Hawaii. I've studied it. If memory serves, Koshoi the Deathless was an immortal villain and a kidnapper of women. He nods. Indeed, he was those things, but it was not Koshoi's misdeeds that drew me to the name. I suppose that it was a notion of immortality through cleverness that resonated with me. There was something to be learned from that, I was sure. And so, when it came to name my beloved creation, his was the first name that came to mind. Is your drone deathless like its namesake? In a manner of speaking, I suppose that he is. I have redundant copies of every piece of his architecture and his core programming stored on a disk in a secret location. Should he ever suffer critical damage, I can easily bring him back. I had a plan once to automate the self-repair process, I must confess. It was quite ingenious, but alas, my research was lost. One day, I will reclaim it, and Koshoi will become this deathless as the stories claim. But today will not be that day.
Anyways, excuse me, sorry. My throat sometimes accidentally clears up when I talk about some smart stuff. You've got some interesting machinery in here, not the kind that you typically see outside of corporate settings or barking dogs.
He smiles. The same could be said of many in Hawaii, I'm sure. This is a smuggler's den, is it not? Our entire economy is based on people adding things that they shouldn't. Is there a particular device that interests you out of curiosity?
I'm mostly interested in that drone you have there.
Koshei? But my friend, you are wrong. You will never find his like in any corporate factory or lab. He is mine. My own creation, from the top of his sensor cluster to the tips of his claws. I designed him, fabricated his components, and built him by hand.
Impressive.
No more so than anyone else who follows his passions and perfects his crafts.
Are you Russian? I thought I caught a hint of an accent there.
You have a good ear. I'm impressed. Yes, I grew up in Nizhny Novgorod. Nizhny Novgorod. Went to school there. Started my career there in the industrial sector. A fairly common story, I'm sure. But I have also traveled a great deal, and in so doing, I have absorbed a number of other languages and dialects.
Well, you've done a good job of dropping your original accent. Are you trying to distance yourself from the homeland?
No, not at all. This is just the way I speak. Would it make you more comfortable if I used the word da more often? Referred to you as comrade, perhaps?
It wouldn't hurt.
His smile thins. I'm afraid that I will have to disappoint you then. I'm not a caricature or a cartoon. I'm a man who happens to have grown up in the Russian Republic. If you cannot grasp the distinction, then I pity you. But I won't change myself for your sake.
You said this morning's casting. What did you mean?
Exactly what I said. A casting that I made of a new locomotive assembly for Koshei. Biometric design, as you can see. This one is inspired by the walking legs of a decapod crustacean. The mangrove crab, to be specific.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And will this new leg assembly make your drone more effective?
That remains to be seen, but there is more to life than combat effectiveness, or not. Not in Shadowrun. No sirree, Bob. Combat effectiveness is the end-all be-all. Booyah. Anyways, by fabricating new components for Koshei, I unlock options, different ways of being. Even the failures, and there have been many, have value in this context.
How did you learn to do all of this?
More training and experience than I care to mention. Drone architecture was once my profession, you see. Now it's more of a calling. One that I'm free to pursue now that I've freed myself from the shackles of corporate servitude.
You said that you used to work for a corp. Whose payroll were you on?
That's something of a sore subject. My departure was involuntary, you see, and I did not part ways with my employer under the best of terms. I'll tell you that I worked for Christian Avicor, but you'll forgive me if I don't want to go into detail.
Keeping all this machinery running can't be cheap. How can you afford it?
Freelance. And at the risk of sounding immodest, I've commodified myself rather well. There are always corporations in need of design consultations. You'd be surprised by how lucrative such work can be. And there is always other work I can turn to in a pinch.
You said that you did other work besides consulting. Care to tell me what kind?
He pauses. For a second, something flashes in his eye. Koshei lowers its body into a crouch.
rather
personal question, don't you say?
maybe, but then again, we're having a personal conversation.
Indeed, we are. But even in personal conversations, certain topics can be held off limits. Truth be told, I don't feel comfortable discussing my side work with relative strangers, so suffice it to say that my freelance activities often fall on the illicit end of the spectrum.
Tell you what, I'm just gonna guess. You're a Shadowrunner, aren't you?
He gives you a shallow nod. I dislike the term, but yes, I run the shadows, as it were. What gave me away?
Nothing particular. Just get that feeling. Also, you have a character portrait, and you're on my ship.
Interesting. Well, your intuition is correct, as I said. I'm going to use mine. You're a Shadowrunner as well, but you're in neither profession. Am I correct?
Yes, on all counts.
Koshi saws forward, its glowing red eyes low to the ground. Light glints off the metal of its armored chassis. Ractor runs a hand over the drone's killing legs, caressing the sculpted metal with his fingertips. I don't mind living in the shadows. I suspect that everyone on this boat does. If we were suited for a more pedestrian line of work, we wouldn't be annoyed. At the risk of sounding immodest, Koshi's aptitude for butchery is quite impressive. He earns me all that I need, and more.
Seems like everybody in this rope runs the shadows. Why not pull our resources and work together?
Versus lips considering. A compelling offer. I'm doing quite well on my own, but I must admit there are certain jobs for which I am unsuited. Magic eludes me, and I am not a decker. My strength comes from material objects in the real world. Solid things with mass and heft, things I can build and operate. Sadly, a great many of my clients are only interested in teams that display mastery over the intangible. This group of yours, do you have people who can cover those spaces? If so, then perhaps we can help each other out.
Yes, we have a shaman and decker. Both competent at their jobs.
Sorry, I was just double checking. In that case, I will accept your offer on a provisional basis. We'll do a few runs together and see how we get on. If our association bears fruit, it will continue. If not, then I will bid you my farewell and go back to working alone. How does that sound?
Welcome aboard.
Very good, excellent. When you receive a job, you know where to find me. My skills and resources are at your disposal. And with that, I am afraid I must bid you a good day. I still have work to do down here. This leg simply won't clean itself.
I'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
Alright. So now we can level up Ractor. So plus 1 movement speed or plus 5% accuracy boost. I think Raptor is a way to give him additional accuracy, but movement is always important because it's going to be, I think he's mainly a melee type. Actually, I'll go with increased accuracy for now, because I'm a melee type-ish. And 5% accuracy isn't nothing to sneeze at. Also, just for future streams, let me know if you want me to just do all this talking off-stream. Like, I figure that people like to see the story evolve and stuff like that, but I know that that can take a while, because basically that took about 2 hours to do chatting for everything that we need to do before going on to the next mission, so. Alright, your workstation and mission computer, blah blah blah. A blinking message shows 6 new messages. Alright, so welcome to Hoy. From Kindly Chang to Slain, that is us. Slain, on behalf of your friends at the Hoy Chamber of Commerce and the Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Hoy and to our new business venture. I've always lined up 3 jobs for you, the details of which are contained in a separate computer message. Remember to check your messages often, as I will update you with new opportunities as they occur. Okay, on TC. Alright, your mission computer. From Isabel to Slain. Hey Slain, I've set up your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports, information and media that might be of interest to you. Some of the keywords I've got it trolling for are things like Raymond, Duncan, Wall City, etc. I've also patched in a permanent link up to the Hong Kong shard of Shadowlands BBS. It's a great place to connect with other runners, sell pay data, get news from the street, and so on. Don't be shy about taking a look. Is resources. From Bao, this is Strangler Bao.
I have been instructed to inform you of various suppliers present in Hawaii. Auntie Cheng has cultivated a commercial district of well-stocked and trustworthy vendors. Whoever you choose to do business with you, you will be in good hands. Okay. These are just the people that we already kind of chatted with. We talked with all these folks last time. Alright, serial killer. From Kylie Chang to Slane. I've got a problem, Slane, and you're going to help me solve it. I do a lot of business with the Wampoans. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll forgive you. You are an outsider, after all. Wampoans are a tribe of techno-fetishists and deckers who've taken up residence in the Wampoa garden area of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of new yen passes through their pasty little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals between them and the smugglers here in Hawaii. I've hit a snag, though. Wampoan elders, their council leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. They also need to dispatch someone to get to the bottom of it and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do so. So you're going to be my proxy, my dear. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Wampoans here delegate here. Excuse me. Wampoans have delegates here in Hawaii by the name of Maximum Law. Sorry, there's quite a few typos, unfortunately. Have a delegate here in Hawaii. Speak with him if you wish to know about Wampoa. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. You get your ass down to Wampoa Garden and talk to the Enders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, as long as they're convinced that there won't be any more murders. I want my cut back, and I want it soon. Alright, let's, yeah, we'll take a look at everything first before we do runs. Open to the Shadows, Slane. I've received a request from an archaeologist named Mr. Drake. He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath the manor house located in Taipo. I've attached a copy of the video message that he sent me. Alright, hello, Madam Chang. I've heard that you're a woman that knows how to get things done, especially with regards to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That's exactly the kind of help I'm looking for. Recently, a rich investor by the name of Liu Hua decided to expand his manor house on the outskirts of Taipo. Too much money, not enough space for fancy parties. He had a snag with local government officials, however. They suspected the land his estate was built on to have pre-modern archaeological artifacts buried beneath it, all of them dating from the Song dynasty. Consequently, I was contracted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations, ensure everything was properly recorded and cataloged. Still had artifacts during the Indiana Jones, yep. Sure enough, when we were only a few days into the excavation, excuse me, we were only a few days into the excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Liu or I had expected. Several acres of catacombs at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they are certainly older than the Song dynasty. They may even be from the previous cycle of magic. Before I could make my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Liu called in his allies in Tanteen Incorporated. Liu sold the entire site to Tanteen, who then leased it back to him. Because Tanteen is considered to have extraterritoriality, I'll go with that, in Hong Kong, local authorities were powerless to stop Liu from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. Can you believe that? Odds there being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil, but he doesn't care. Anything to sell a few tickets. Liu's continued his excavations, using Tanteen contractors to expand the dig. What you didn't know, so I bugged his calmly before he fired me. Based on what I've heard, something strange is going on in the lower levels. Workers have been disappearing while they've been found dead several days later. Whatever's going down there is too dangerous to be left in loose hands. Liu must have found my data line tab, though. I stopped receiving any information 3 days ago. The last thing I've heard him talking about were a pair of ancient texts that the workers had discovered. Then he issued an order that further excavation should be halted till he can secure the subterranean areas. I'm betting those texts are the cause of whatever's killing the workers. Tomb raiding dungeon crawl Shadowrun. Yeah. I have quite a bit of experience with these kinds of dangerous excavations, but an operation of this scale is beyond me. I need a team that's tough enough to get in and survive, aren't afraid of making a mess, and who can get out with the books and whatever else they can carry. Beyond the two texts, I'm willing to pay very well for whatever other artifacts your team can liberate. The more valuable, the better.
Don't worry, they'll be going to actual museums, not some rich boy's mansion. I've got a second program in place that'll suppress the police security system. The team will have to be careful though, there's only so many alarms I can suppress. Go beyond that number and I'll scrub the mission. I've included a catalog of lightning items to help the team appraise the most valuable ones. They don't need to be subtle. In fact, I prefer they make it look like a common robbery. Tell them to smash and grab what they can. Let me know when you find a suitable group of Shadowrunners. There you have it, a nice, simple robbery. Do you think you can handle something that basic, my dear? I have faith in you. Let me know when you're ready to proceed, and I'll contact Mr. Strickland when you're on the way. Alright. From Kindly Shang to Slain. Geomancy is a big business in the free enterprise zone. Here in Hong Kong, feng shui isn't just the act of rearranging your kitchen to make things look pretty. The fortunes of empires rise and fall with the ebb and flow of qi, and sometimes that flow needs a helping hand. Wuxing Incorporated are the preeminent practitioners of large-scale qi manipulation here in the free enterprise zone. They've gone to great lengths to channel qi from all over Hong Kong into their headquarters, an enormous monstrosity that they call the Wuxing Sky Tower. There it is focused and transformed into good fortune through the building's geomantically attuned architecture and interior decoration. Our client believes that it is time for Wuxing's good luck to run out. You are to infiltrate the Sky Tower and disrupt the flow of qi throughout the building, but you are due to do so in two distinct fashions. First, you must disrupt the feng shui of the offices by subtly altering the environment at that level. This will consist of minor adjustments of desks, spilled water, and other small activities that are likely to be noticed. Ordinarily, even subtle disturbances of this nature would be noticed. This is why the client wishes you to make a much louder demonstration on the rooftop garden. The garden is to be ransacked, utterly destroyed. Set fire to things, uproot trees, that kind of thing. Our client has also specified he would like you to destroy the large Buddhist statue in the garden, smash the thing to bits, and leave them scattered across the rooftop. This level of destruction will keep Wuxing's geomancers busy long enough that the more subtle disruptions below will take effect. In addition, it will send the kind of message our client would like Wuxing to hear. I have utmost faith in your ability to cause disruption. The more disruption you can cause on both levels of the Sky Tower, the happier the client will be. Given your own skills with magic, you should have an easy time identifying the most effective ways to disrupt qi in the building. Alright. So, let's open jobs. View all pending jobs. Okay, yeah, okay. Let's take the run. Alright, good luck, don't fuck it up. Alright, I think we can take all these. Good, I'll tell the entrance you're coming. They don't like outsiders and might shoot you if I don't warn them. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and take all these. Alright, good. Contact me when you finish the run. Alright, let's see. Let's go to the Shadowlands. Boopy boop boop bop. Chirp. BBS. Missed connections. You rappelling down the side of an unnamed luxury hotel in a ball gown on Monday night. Me admiring the view from the 28th floor urinals during a private soiree for an unmanned corporation I was infiltrating. Our eyes met briefly before you dropped out of sight. Your long, dark hair had come loose from your chignon, framing your beautiful flush face. I will never forget it. You were carrying a duffel bag, bulging with stolen prototype weaponry. Well, I filched the intel that goes with it. Can we connect? Blackjack. Very funny, Blackjack. I'm sorry this job went sideways. I got trapped and had only one way out. Right. We were supposed to have each other's backs. Just wait till you hear the way out I had to take. We gotta lay low for now. And why are we posting about this on a public message board? Been hearing some buzz about some mainlander terrorists that showed up in Victoria Harbor and had a shootout with the HKPF the other day. Anyone heard anything on that? Ming Pal said there were 4 of them that got away. 1 troll, 2 orcs, and a dwarf. A troll, an elf, and a human were all killed on the scene. Orders that they're members of the White Star out of Henan, coming out here to start trouble against the Executive Council. Looks like there's a 50,000 yen reward for any information leads to their capture. HKPF seems pretty nervous about letting these bastards walk freely around the streets. Heaven Shot. Okay, took me a second to read their name. You think they actually pay out to somebody like us? Not a chance. You walk in there to claim reward, you're getting thrown in a hole with them. HKPF doesn't keep promises to the sinless. Couldn't hurt to try. Why do you have to be such a downer? Because I know the police. They're all dirty. They're only in it to protect their paychecks, and they don't give a damn about anyone else. Believe me, I'm just looking out for your best interest. Too real, folks. Like you and your triad looked out for my brother. You know he's still paying for his reconstructive surgery, you bastard. If a man wants to keep his teeth, he should pay what he owes rather than pull a gun on me. Simple as that. Poetry Slam. Ladies and gentlemen, poets and Shadowrunners, welcome to the first annual Shadowland Poetry Slam. There's no rules and there are no prizes, except bragging rights. Excuse me. And with no further ado, let the versification begin. Excuse me. How long do you think you keep this going before trolls show up or a sysadmin shuts us down? Why would they shut us down? It's a free board. We can be pro-egg if we want to. Tennyson. Just trust me, it happens. For some reason, these things always draw the worst sort of attention. Are you going to give us a poem, or are you going to stand around complaining about why you can't? Alright, I've got one. Wait for it. Synth muscles, smart legs, neural boosters, cyber limbs, all fail to grenades. A little amusing on the transients of life in the shadows. Very nice, sir. When the long shadows fall on Hong Kong, neon lights pierce the coming night. Tread with me the velvet blackness. Let no lamp shine on our deeds. That one's entitled Our Hour. That might just have been the most pompous thing I've ever read. Try this one on for size. Lasers are red, shadows are black. With Matt on the street, you best watch your back. Now you're mad. My tone wasn't pompous, you uncultivated rube. It was an homage to Ron Wei, the famous Tang Dynasty master of the Jeju form of poetry. It's traditional, unlike that ridiculous limerick that you just posted. Now, I don't think you have to take the word slam quite so literally. Hey, you people know the rules. Poetry slams have been out of bounds on this BBS since the Laughing Man debacle of 55. If you want to slink your fancy words, do it on a different forum. I'm shutting this thread down. Told you. Walled City. I've got a courier job next week that's supposed to take me into the Walled City. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, and I've never been to Hong Kong. I hear that place is dangerous as hell. Anything I should know? Oh, you got nothing to worry about. It's just a low-cost housing development full of hard-working people. Here, take a look at this news report. Short trade clip, you're going to explain. This is Sunny Chung with Horizon News. On today's Sunny Side Up, Kowloon Walled City applied on the free enterprise zone, or low-cost housing for the economically disadvantaged. We'll introduce you to some of those hard-working residents, how they live, how they contribute to the growth and prosperity of our city. A montage sequence begins showcasing the destitute poor of the walled city going about their daily lives. The shots have been carefully chosen, showing only smiling and productive residents, a stark contrast to your own experience inside of it. Many residents of Hong Kong regard the walled city as a place of no return. To outsiders, it's the last stop on a long road to homelessness. Rumors abound of feral ghouls, unsafe living conditions, and triad extortion. Yet when we went there, reality was quite different. What we saw will shock you, citizens of Hong Kong, working and living just like the rest of us. Excuse me. What we saw will shock you, citizens of Hong Kong, just working and living just like the rest of us. Their apartments are smaller, their shops more modest, but the people who live there wouldn't be out of place anywhere in the FEZ. Citizens like shoemaker Chow Shang Shu. The scene cuts to an elderly man in a closet-sized stall filled with shoemaking equipment. He smiles proudly at the camera. Oh, I love it here. We have a community, don't you know? We are like family. Maybe we don't have as nice a view as they do in Repulse Bay, but I can't imagine living anywhere else. It's not paradise, no, but it is my home. I grew up here. How can I possibly leave? How can I possibly leave? The camera shifts back to the sunny shoot. Who net sounds in front of one of the entrances to Walled City. Yes, contrary to popular opinion, the Walled City serves a vital function. The poor and downtrodden find a home in the Walled City. A community where they have a voice, they can work, and even prosper. Far from being the eyesore that... Okay, I decided to cut the rest of that crap. She keeps going on about what a good place the Walled City is, now we all need it. Don't buy any of it. It may not be hell, but you can see it from there. Freedom Cowboy's just trying to get you in trouble. So how do you know the real story? Because I grew up there. You know what it's really like? It's eating old broth made from rat bones because there's nothing else. It's watching your neighbors sell their 5-year-old son to Oregon Lakers so they don't have to starve to death. When you die in the Walled City, your neighbors cheer because they'll get the clothes off your back. I wouldn't wish the Walled City on my worst enemy. Yikes. Let's post that data that we got. Okay. All right. So you can post any hackings that you've done and that sort of stuff. So all right. So we're almost an hour and a half into this stream, and we're about to do our first actual real run. Okay. So I don't have that much money. I don't think I can buy anything else. Let's actually go back up here because I think I can afford one more spell. I want to get that up, essentially the fireball spell. Let's see. Okay, first let's sell that crap, and then oh, this is the wrong place. Ooh, but dang it. Let's see. Actually, getting natural magic resistance isn't bad. Oh, hey, thank you for the cheer. A good cheer to you, Zelash. I have, I know that I have a friend who's been working on some emotes. I sent them some pictures to kind of turn into like little like 8-bit things. They look amazing. Okay, so whenever I do get like officialized as a Twitch affiliate, I can't wait for you all to kind of see them. They're going to be really good. Anyways, so I have no more Chia, or sorry, can't Karma, because I would love to get. Let's see. So it will cost 3 to get magic resistance. Yeah. Let's see. So, okay. Is there anything else in key casting? Oh yeah, this was the outfit I was thinking about, Street Monk. That's okay. Yeah, but that's medium cover to all magic spells, maybe. But yeah, I'm sorry. The actual magic shop for me, since I am a magician, not a physical adept, which would make so much more sense as for my build. But again, we're going weird. All right, Crafty, show me what you got. Yeah, I think it's Mana Ball's the way to go. Let's see. Or, no, I think, oh, it does cost 2 AP, though. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like anything that requires 2 AP for now, just because we'll get more AP as the game goes on. Those are action points. So, yeah, this actually isn't that bad. I'll go ahead and take it. What spells do I have right now? I have Heal Wounds, that, Mana Bolt. Nah, actually I'll wait. Yeah. I could buy that, but I just kind of feel a little nervous about doing so right now. I do need to save up some money, because every time that we finish a run, we do unlock a little bit better gear. So, alrighty, let's go in. Sorry, I'm just double checking something. Okay. Alright, so now we have our choice of runs. So we can either chase the serial killer, we can go commit geomantic sabotage. I love the sound of that. Or we can Indiana Jones it and go some tomb raiding. Does anyone have a preference for any of them? Serial killer. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. something has been buzzing my pocket for like 20 bazillion times. Okay. Let's go. Okay. I actually think the serial killer, it's a little. I think that's a little bit tougher, but let's go. Let's go with that. Let's do serial killer. Okay. So now we could hire runners. We could hire these random blokes to join us. Why would we do that when you have a full crew of free people? Like, it just blows my mind. So, alright, we're going to take Isabel, we're going to take Ractor, we're going to take Duncan. Gobbet, I'm sorry. Basically, just. Oh, it can be done with 0 violence? Uh-oh. Challenge accepted. Oh, wait, do I have Firebolt too? Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Oh no, that's showing the people. Yeah, I think I don't have that. Okay. We'll try our best. I know that we tried to do 0 violence on the first mission that kindly sent us on, and totally failed at that. But hey, they started it. Outsider. Wenpua Garden, a carnival of chrome and neon, rife with every manner of technology and artifice one can imagine. The entire area has the feel of a night market, save that chips are sold in lieu of steam buns, and vendors hawk the latest drones rather than folk art. Something stalks these streets, hiding just out of sight. It stalks the Wempoon elders, the leaders of the band of tech-savvy squatters that claim this neighborhood as their own. The streets smell of ozone and fear, but those Wempoons you pass in an MTR station have a haunted, furtive look in their eye. While the killer has struck only at the elders thus far, it may only be a matter of time before ordinary residents are menaced as well. Yeah, I only have Powerbolt 1. Okay. Let's see. Alright, everyone has some more medkits than me. And it's usually best to use your people's stuff. Or. I forget. I know in Dragonfall they got their stuff back at the end of everyone. Did they get their stuff back at the end of this? I forget. And was your dwarf mage as fast talking as my troll? You'll see in a second. I'll pull up the stats in a second. The streets of Rampoint Garden are slick with rain, glittering under the neon glow of myriad signs and holographic displays. The sky reflects the same glow, painting the white apartments blocks the sickly orange of sodium streetlights. Excuse me. The smell of grilling meat mingles with other rarer scents. Ozone, engine oil, and high-tech fabrication facilities. Despite the hour, there are plenty of people out and about. You can hear the calls of street vendors and touts urging people into their stores. Isabel wrinkles her nose, scowling darkly. She wraps her arms tightly around her chest, staring off into the distance. Is there a word for feeling nostalgic for a place you can't wait to leave again? I don't miss this place, but I miss the feelings I had when I lived here. Suedade, maybe? Isabel shakes her head. No, that's not it. It's close, but... This place seemed like heaven after the walled city. Like the whole world had unfurled in front of me, and anywhere I turned was the promise of a good life. Turned out this place was just as crappy as everywhere else. Everyone was still in it for themselves. If my own life in the Barrens taught me anything, it's that if you can find people worth sticking with, they'll save your life. You live for each other, watch each other's backs. It's about as deep as it gets for me. Perhaps then that is enough, and if it works for you, good. Isabel turns towards you and points down the street to your left. We're looking for the Wimpoan elders. They're going to be in the Wimpo itself. That's the big ship down the street.
That's the mall shaped like a boat, right?
That's the one. Somebody thought it would be clever to make a uniquely shaped mall. Alright. Let's see. I have a charisma of 4. So that's about as fast talking as this dwarf is going to get. Whoops, sorry. Alright, before we go down that way, we'll do a little bit of investigating. I just don't know if it feels safe here anymore. I'm sorry. Better find someplace indoors to sleep, John. The streets are dangerous lately. Hey, you don't have to say that right when I'm walking by. Jeez. God. Now, technically, we have 5 party members since Raptor's with us with his drone. Oh, gosh. I remember this mission now. It took me a second. Why am I doing this one first? He's not just dead, he's been all cut up. Others don't want anyone to go inside without their permission. Must be pretty bad in there. Oh, jeez. Oh! What is this nonsense? Charlie Pura. I think it, David or Geekette, if either of you are still here and can mod that. Alright, we are in Wimpoa. Before we talk with them, let's do a little bit of skirting. We are a side quester after all. We're not. I guess there's nothing here. Elder Neem. This orc woman is festooned with small circuits, tiny tread screens, and speakers. The tread screens display snippets of tread broadcast from every corner of the world. The tiny speakers display counterpoint with a searchers of voices speaking. Okay, I did actually know Punjabi once upon a time, back when I worked at Farmers. A little bit. Her expressions are haggard, and she fidgets with her fingers as you approach. Welcome to Wimpoa, my friend. I am an Elder Ni, and these are Elders Tang and Ip. Thank you so much for answering our request for help. We had nowhere else to turn.
As long as you pay, I can help.
Under Tang's skin, glowing tattoos writhe and change shape. Tigers become cranes and move to dragons. We're under threat. One by one, we elders are being hunted by some monster. As you may have noticed when you arrived, there's been another killing just tonight. It crosses solid chrome arms. Holographic readouts dance constantly over their surface, displaying diagnostic information about their state. Operating temperature, servo pressure, and a variety of other minutiae. He looks past you towards Isabel. The prodigal daughter returned once more. I didn't expect to see you back aboard Wimpoa in my lifetime, Isabel. When you disappeared, Elder Yutunde was very put out. Yeah, you have a fancy mod view. Can you delete the message and ban that bot, basically? I'm glad you're still alive. When you chose to walk your own path, I was disappointed, but I still understood why you had to leave. I hope my lessons have helped you prosper. So many people are talking about prosper. I'm really, Didn't expect you to be back either. Work takes you places, though. Isabel shrugs. A moment later, she places a hand on her pistol, eyes straighten on the Ip's shoes. I don't cart this around for fun, Ip. The lessons kept me alive. Isabel blinks several times and looks up at me, her expression clouded. Where is Yutunda anyway? I expected her to be here. She's dead. So are Gon and Nakamura. And Tong was just killed tonight. So much blood.
You have to stop this from continuing. Isabel's expression remains impassive, but her knuckles grow white, her hands fall up into fists. That's what we're here for. We'll stop the killings. Thank you, Isabel. And he lifts a hand, wiping tears away from her eyes. What can you tell me about the murders? They started 2 weeks ago. The Vertigo was gone. We found him in his apartment, eviscerated. He'd been torn apart. His head had been ripped completely off and most of his skin flayed away. There's so much blood it took us a week to clean out his apartment. Tang nods, throwing his palm over his forehead. The rest have been the same. Always at night, always dismembered. Each scene is like a nightmare. And every time, nobody has seen anything. It's like a ghost. What happened to Tong? Same thing that happened to the rest of the victims. Evisceration and dismemberment. We sent a guard to keep people out of his shop, but he'll let you in. When did he die? Sometime early tonight. He locked up his shop, but Ip stopped by to ask him about some skill chips he had. The door was unlocked and inside. Seeing Hitman's inability to continue, Ip takes over. Inside looked like a bad horse, and just like all the other murders. That had happened after sundown because I saw his shop was open when I was on my way to get some noodles for dinner. Why didn't you call the police? The Hong Kong police force isn't welcome here. They tried to force us out several times before, come hunting for someone to pin a crime on. We do a lot of favors for local gangs and triads, handle their matrix security, fix up their gear, and make sure they have access to Hong Kong Shadowrun's hub. We're too valuable a resource for them to lose, so they protect us when the HKPF or anyone else decides we're an easy target. They handle our physical security, and we make sure to send our message via the matrix. The last time the HKPF made trouble, we started airing the assistant chief's dirty laundry over the Trid. They got the picture and backed off. Have you made any enemies lately? Not that I can think of. We keep to ourselves. We buy and sell technology. We're not mercenaries or criminals. We're merchants and deckers. Even if someone was cheated in a deal, this kind of response is unthinkable. Whatever did this, it wasn't human. The violence and savagery, it's a monster, whatever it is. Claim men and humans are monsters too, Nay. Just because it's horrible doesn't mean it's supernatural. What do the men One-Point Elders do? Isabel snorts. They make the rules and kick people out who don't obey them. They're a bunch of petty tyrants, that's what. You're being unfair, Isabel. Our laws are for the good of the community. We keep the Wempo and its residents safe. We review trade agreements with outsiders to see if they're good for the community and provide a guiding vision, like town council. You people are really weird. Nick bows to her head and spreads her arms wide. Our ways may seem strange to you, but they have sustained us for many years. I do not expect you to understand. I am the invoker of sprites. I commune with the spirits of machines, ask them for blessings, and pass those blessings on to the people here. I heal the sick and ensure the feng shui of our habitats is as good as it can be given our confines. She's a shaman, that's all. She has got some kooky spin on it. Claims her totem is some kind of all-encompassing machine god that lives in circuitry. Isabel pats her deck, looking. Ancient gods and ancestors are one thing. My deck? It's mine. I built it. The only spirits it's got in it are the ESPs I loaded with. Ning gives Isabel a look of deep sadness. Just because you cannot see or touch a thing does not mean that it does not exist. Just because you do not believe in it does not mean that it does not protect you from afar. I can't touch programs either, but at least I can prove they have an effect on the physical world. Your superstitions are just that. Bullshit. Jerking a thumb towards Tang. This guy treats drones like they're living things. What exactly do you do, Tang? Extends his arms, palms up, as you watch the tattoos therein shift into a complex mathematical formula. I am the first and glorious servo. I study patterns, repair machinery, and teach others how to attune themselves to the wonders of automation. The blessed Autofab is my shop in Purview, where we make the drones we sell, use, and sell. Really, what an fascinating and spiritual spin on things. Arthur inclines his head toward Tang. I'd be interested in hearing more about your philosophy. Once we're done with the job, I think I might find your subject to be very interesting. As for me, I serve the resplendent voltage spike. Ip smiles crookedly. That means I shoot people who try to screw with us. It's a fancy title for head of security. That's all for now.
It may be wise to ask the residents around Beauregard if they've seen or heard anything after they've gone to Tong's sensory carnival. They may have heard or seen things that we have not.
Good to know.
Alright, let's. Oh. Is there anything new in here? I don't think so. Okay, I think we just gotta go upstairs now. Okay, I think. Okay. Yeah, that was me. Alright, anyways. Yeah, it's right clicking, and then it should have some options like banning. But I don't know how to do it if it's on mobile, so. And I usually watch Twitch streams on mobile. I would have no idea how to do something like that. Anyways. Tong Sensory Carnival! Ba-ba-da-ba! Porter Lamb. Porter Lamb, at your service. Elders told me that you'd be coming. Did they tell you about what happened to Tong?
Just the basics.
Well, nothing's basic about this. Seen people shot, stabbed, beaten to death. Hell, I haven't seen a corpse that was so dry and desiccated I could have sworn a vampire got to it. None of that's got anything on this. Brace yourself and go on in. Inside we go. Tong's Sensory Carnival looks like the scene out of the B-grade slasher sim. The cloying scent of incense hangs thick and pungent in the air, emanating from the small shrine in the corner of the shop. Unfortunately, it does nothing to cover up the reek of death and clotted blood. Despite the ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor, the rest of the shop appears to be in good order, at least at first glance. Nothing's broken, tripped over, or otherwise ransacked. As you're about to step further into the room, you glance at the ceiling and walls. The blood from Tong's body isn't just confined to where his remains lie. Its drying blood is spread about the walls and ceiling as well. Yep, that's a mess. That's a mess. Tong's body is a ruined mess. The destroyed ruin of his face is barely recognizable, and what is left of his body would best be described as savage. All of his limbs have been torn off, and a pile of flayed skin lies next to the remnants of the Rampoan elder. The Rampoan's clothing has all but been reduced to rags and tissue by cuts and tears apparently sustained during the flaying. At this point, the only thing holding what's left of his body into a semblance of human form is the hair-thin fiber optics of his cyberware. Isolde's face twists into a disgusted grimace, and she turns to look away. Looks like someone dropped him into an industrial meat grinder almost, so that they brought the grinder with them. Who the hell kills like this? Someone with a highly evolved need for ritual murder, I suspect. This manner of pathology is not seen in insane individuals. Ractor gestures at the body impassively. Look, parts of him are missing. Curious. Yeah, let's do my thing. Taking a deep breath, you allow your senses to expand into astral space. The colors of the room bleed away, replaced with the vibrant lights and the emotion of the spirit world. Surprisingly, no emotions of fear or anger pervade the room. Excuse me. The abiding emotion the room is steeped in is one of perfunctory satisfaction, as if someone had accomplished an important task. It would seem that likely that Tong was surprised. If he was not, you would be certain that you would feel the lingering fear within the room. You mean you didn't see it coming? Maybe we're dealing with an assassin, not a monster. I'm okay with that. I understand assassins. Monsters, not so much. Ractor, what can you do? Ractor takes his time examining the body, taking small notes in his PDA. Curious, no subdural bruising where the skin's been removed, no sign of a struggle. Coagulation of blood and lividity marks the time between 2 and 4 hours ago. The knife marks are methodical. The killer doesn't seem to have been interested in preserving the skin as any kind of whole. It was removed a bit like one fillets of fish, the path of least resistance. Some of those strips of skin have a more ragged edge than others. The ragged edge looks to be more consistent with a claw rather than a blade. All this stuff, so I'm looking at Ractor's drone right behind me with his murder claws and everything like that. I'm like, Ractor, you got a problem with my pulling? Just wondering, just looking at your drone has kind of the things that you're describing here. But anyways, Ractor makes a curious noise as he examines the remnants of Tong's face and neck. His neck's been severed between the 5th and 6th cervical vertebra. Scoring across the bone indicates a bladed weapon, and a sharp one at that. Doesn't match any of the other wounds. Raptor stands and looks at you directly in the eye. If I had to guess, I'd say he was killed with a blow to the back of the neck. Everything else was subsequent damage.
Why would someone kill him and then skin him?
Honestly, I have no idea. Perhaps whatever did the rest of the damage was secondary, an act of opportunity or the like. Without further information, I'm not comfortable guessing. Okay. Walls are covered in splattered and smeared blood, most of which is hardened into a crusty congealed paste. Thick tracks of it run laterally, as if the blood had been deliberately smeared. Hey, Slane, I don't know a lot about science and all that, but I know what blood looks like when it hits a wall. This isn't natural. Somebody deliberately smeared blood all over these walls. See how it's got, like, paint trails? That's because somebody used Tong's parts like a brush.
So they painted his walls with blood. Why?
Do I look like a psychologist to you? Maybe because they're a freak. Maybe they're one of those sick serial killers that sees their murder as art. I got no clue. All I know is that I know what normal blood looks like on a wall, and this ain't it. Some people have a bad grasp at art. I knew this guy in Kwantung who used to make music out of stray radio static and panic button calls. Called it Crisis Wave. It was awful. Alright. Into this room. Let's see. Desk safe. Tom's desk drawers are open and the safe built into one side has been opened. There's no sign of tampering and the green light next to the word unlocked is blinking. Whoever opened the safe did it with a key fob. Inside are several blank credit sticks but no sign of any money on them. One point elder with no money in his safe? My ass. Somebody cleaned him out. Probably grabbed the key fob out of his pocket. Tom's bathroom is immaculate. The drains are tiny. Whatever killed him didn't exit through here. This is a Yamaha 95000V Simpson, a device for mixing and mastering Simpsons chips. Several drive bays are empty and all the jacks are empty. The screen is flashing a repeated error message. Warning, requested files cannot be found. Please return drives to bay and try again. Izzy, do your thing. There, I put the drive warning on suspend. It's in diagnostic mode only though. Maybe we'll learn something, maybe not. Yamaha, blah blah blah. Memory drive, assist bus, blah blah blah. Beginning core dump. Looks like Tom was cooking some BTLs here. BTL stands for better than life. He hacked the peak controller output cutoffs. The delta levels in sim chips are usually about 4 to 5, 6.5 for CalHots. His delta peaks were pushing 12. That's brain burning territory, Slane. And all the drives and chips those BTLs are stored on are missing. I never liked Tong. It wasn't because he was a bad guy, I just didn't like any of the elders. But if he was cooking chips at Delta 12, maybe he burned somebody he shouldn't have. Maybe they flipped their lid and came after him, or a relative did. The meta-human brain can't handle this kind of output. It'll shut down after a few of these. Alright. Alright, Porter Lamb. Hey there, need something?
Looks like somebody went through Tong's things. Has anyone else been inside?
Not since I've been here, but before it found him, could have been anybody really. It had a key to his place, but locks total crap. Anybody half decent at cracking mag locks could have gotten inside. What's missing?
His BTLs, hard drives, and cred sticks.
Sounds like the killer loot of this place to me. All this talk of monsters. Yeah, sure, there are scary things that go bump in the night, but most of the scary bumps I hear are from handguns and gangers.
What do you do around here, Porter?
Yeah, it's a catch-all category, I guess. I work for Elder It. It's a bit like being a deputy. I make sure people don't break the rules. Protect people who need protecting. Mostly I just do whatever it asks me to. It's a very quiet job most days. Today is not one of those days. I also handle a lot of maintenance. I don't actually do the repairs, but I got most of the keys. It makes it easy to ensure only authorized people get into sensitive places. Electricity goes down, I let in the electrician who fixes wiring. Toilets clog, I let in the drone guy who puts it back up. See you later. Alright, so now we're gonna go talking with folks. Zippy! Hey stranger, nice to see ya. Zippy Toe Dag at your service. How you liking Wamboa Garden?
awfully friendly. You don't even know me.
You never met before this, but I know exactly who you are. You're my replacement. Elders had me out to see what was left of Elder Gan and Elder Nakamura after they got ripped apart, but I didn't want to dig any deeper. Yeah, so since I don't know you and I can smell Shadowrun a mile away, you got to be the outsider that has to stop the killings, right?
Show off. Yeah, you're right.
See, I have good eyes. A lot of good eyes, actually. If you're in the market for replacements, only slightly used, and they come from certified donors, I swear. Oh, man, I'd kill myself.
That was awful.
I know. I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but all my jokes are terrible.
So if you're not a comedian, what are you?
I'm one of the only trained surgeons around here. Give the other when Bowen's healthy. Gotta practice down the road. Flying Chin's a pretty good cyber doc, but he's basically an implant specialist, and that's it.
You don't seem much of a doctor to me.
I did my residency back in the UCAS. Could have become a real MD too if things hadn't gone south for unrelated reasons. I also deck a little, but I'm better at slicing skin than I see. Boa Garden seemed like a good fit for me.
So is it fairly peaceful around here?
For the most part, other than these killings, we don't have much in the way of problems. We do information security for the Triads, and that makes us fairly impervious to anyone who wants to start trouble. Anyone who starts something, we hit them in the Matrix, while our Triad friends hit them in meat space. Some small-time gangs have tried pushing in here before, but they backed off when they figured out they weren't just picking a fight with Tang and his guys, but both the Red Dragon and the Yellow Lotus. They got the message real quick, what was left of them anyways.
Let me ask you about one Poa card.
Sure thing, what do you want to know?
Murders?
There's a sharp head take a breath as if he shakes his head. Pretty gruesome business. Can die from a broken neck, like someone wrenched it around and his arms and legs were cut off. Some skin flayed away too. Nakamura had his throat ripped out by someone with pretty sharp teeth. First I thought it was a devil rat, but the teeth marks were all from something with a humanoid jaw. I didn't look at Yujinde. From what I saw at the distance, it was the same story. Didn't seem much point since they'd seen it twice already. As for Tong, from what Porter told me, it was gone and Nakamura all over again. You take a look at him?
Yeah, it's the same as you described.
Damn, I like Tong. The PTL business isn't savory, but man had to eat. His regular sins were great. Generally all around nice guy. Friendly with everyone, never had anyone mad at him there. There ain't no justice, let me tell ya.
Looks like Tom was killed by a blade, not a broken neck or bite.
What kind of blade? Was it a knife, a sword, maybe an axe?
I don't know, but he was stabbed to the back of the neck.
I don't like it at all. Some holes of hair caught me on edge. People dying is nothing new, but the flayed skin. Ugh. After a moment, he composes himself. It sounds possible that whoever's been killing the elders is trying to muddy the waters of the world of blood and gore business. This is a crime of an intelligent, careful killer. Be careful. This investigation might take you somewhere unpleasant.
What can you tell me about the elders?
Well, a neglected bunch, that's for sure. Where to start? Nan's the spiritual leader here. She's the voice of Wempones, I guess. A lot of her close friends are really more followers, since she's something of a priest for the machine spirits. Maybe it's a cultural thing for people who grew up here, but it's never called to me. Still, she makes a damn fine pot of tea. I was about to say coffee. It's a muscle and has this encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and Bioware. Definitely a good guy to have watching your back. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber, people start wondering if you'll tear their arms off. He's got his moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3, The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great bike choreography.
What about Tang?
I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some kind of trids of automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. He works with drones, has his shop called the Blessed Autofad. He's raving about efficiency of moving patterns or something. You already know about Tong, ran Sims, BTL skill chips, and used to be a mid-city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. Nakamura came from Fukuoka and was interested in entertainment, trade mostly. Spent a lot of time analyzing subliminals and ads. Then there was Magpie. She was the chief decker, hot as hell against ice, and built her own hardware. Salty old woman, though. Never met anyone who was quite as strollers nasty as she was when she was mad. And she was mad most of the time.
Wait, nobody mentioned Magpie to me. When'd she die?
She didn't. Maybe a month or so ago, she just up and disappeared. Went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody's seen her since. Kind of a pain in the ass, too. She owed me some new analyzed software she picked up. I've never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer one phones. If she was the Decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No prize there. guy was older than Quinn. Blah, Terracotta Warriors. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Still fast as hell in the Matrix, though.
How can you be new in an elder?
It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with time spent in the community. It's something you do with for sure, but it's mostly how skilled you are, how good your connections are, and how much you can help everybody else. Should have called them experts or something. Bingo! That's exactly it. She was only here for about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people all over the Matrix in Shanghai, Beijing, all kinds of places. That plus her skill meant she was a shoo-in when Gao died.
Why did she disappear?
No idea. One day she was here, the next, poof! First I thought she was just on vacation, since she had mentioned wanting to see the Kingdom of Hawaii someday, but it didn't feel right. She would have at least told me she was leaving. It seemed mighty suspicious to me. Nobody else seemed to care what happened to her, probably because she pissed them off all so bad. Pissed them all off so bad.
New place. I should start looking.
You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but other elders have a spell key. Couldn't hurt to look around, even though Magpie was always butting heads with the other elders. They wouldn't have any reason not to let you in.
What do you mean they were butting heads?
Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted this neighborhood to become. Magpie just wanted to deck. She was only elder because she was only an elder because they needed someone with her matrix chops. Last big argument between her, Ip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand a private trade business into the Matrix, and she just absolutely refused.
Why'd she refuse?
She said something about not using up valuable bandwidth for trivial entertainment bullshit. Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any further because they get too much corporate attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true. Lots of screaming.
What do you mean, blocking them?
Everyone needs their matrix skills for their business to run properly. There are other deckers, me, say, or Monyembe, but she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't even give them the time of day. She was real hard-headed about having her time wasted, but she figures that she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. Kind of a major blind spot if you ask me.
Could you let me into her shop?
Oh yeah, I got it. To talk to the other guy. No, can do. Not because I don't want to, but because I just don't have the key. You have to get it from Ip. He's taken over all Matrix infrastructure maintenance, and Magpie disappeared. He's not as good as she is, or as I am, but they're not going to let anyone who isn't an elder take care of that kind of critical stuff.
See you later, Sips.
Border,
what can you tell me about Magpie?
That she was a bitch? I've never met anyone as deliberately contrary as her? That is not much to say. Nobody wanted to hang out with Magpie. Even though she was the newest elder, she acted high and mighty around everyone. She blocked deals and argued against Nakamura and just because she could.
Why is she so contrary?
It's just her nature. She loved fights and gossip. Any chance to cut somebody else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured she had some deep-seated insecurities and covered it up by attacking other people.
See you later.
Alright, let's see if there's anyone else to talk to real quick before we go with Elder talking. Oh, hello. A man has a tired, war-weary demeanor about him, his eyes tracking movements with a penetrating critical precision. Something about him, the lines around his eyes perhaps, make you suspect he's seen a lot of terrible things happen. Let me guess, you're the freelancers the elders are paying to look into the murders around here.
That's right. Who are you?
Call me Demergo. I'm not one of the Rampones, but I've been here long enough that they don't think twice about me being here. So what have you found out so far?
You're awfully curious for a random guy.
Fresh your curiosity. I used to be with the New York Police Department as part of their Thaumaturgical Research Division. Part of the CSI branch, except I did the magical investigation while the other guys pulled prints and checked the blood samples. Demergo tosses a soy cat cup towards the nearby garbage can. When I hear about shit like this happening, I keep my ear to the ground. Old habits, you know.
So, why aren't you investigating it?
Albertine asked me to look into the killings after her first murder. She couldn't afford my fee, though, so I took a pass. It's not just the money, either. You see that stuff day after day, you pay a price. It eats away at you. You know what it's feel like to feel all that sickness and anger every day? To be asked to pick up a murder weapon and relive someone's death? Feel it going into your neck? Pleading in the voice of a dead woman for a murder killer to spare you? These days, I'd rather interrogate the living. Thanks.
Sounds awful.
Awful. It's more than awful. It's a goddamn nightmare is what it is. When I couldn't wake up from for a long time. Sometimes you just gotta cut and run. Start fresh. At least now I can pick my own jobs. I read objects. It's called psychometry. A little trick I managed to pick up. Don't really know how. I hold on to something, I can tell you what happened to it. Who owned it, how it killed someone, if someone owned it, or was afraid of it. Useful, but it'll tax your heart. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to read anything you find. I already told you that I didn't want any part of this. You want advice? I'll give you that. I'm not getting drawn in further than that. So aside from that, is there anything I can help you with? Okay. What can you tell me about the Web Poems? I don't know much. Even though I've been here almost 2 years, I'm an outsider still. They don't really accept anyone who's not as much of a tech nut as they are. I'm just a crazy mage that lives down the road. It's got some heavy-duty cyber works, basically an enforcer for the rest of the council. It doesn't seem to set much policy. Name's a shaman that worships machine spirits. It's all a bunch of hokum, if you ask me. Magic is magic. Yep, you and me. Demurgo Slain team up. Let's do it. Whatever you want to call the source of magic is fine by me, but don't ask me to believe in the great spirit of electronics. As for everyone else, they tend to be an okay bunch, a bit strange, but that's fringe culture for you. They scrounge tech, rebuild it, sell it off. Some of them even have their own autofab shops. Their stuff's pretty high quality too. People from all over Asia shop here if they need something rare and unusual. Tight-knit little community, all things considered.
What do you know about the murders?
They started a couple weeks ago. Eldergan was the first to go. That's when he asked me if I could look into them. He was ripped apart, arms wrenched out of their sockets, skin planted away from with a razor sharp knife. Rest have been the same. Word did it sure didn't care about it being clean death. Funny thing is, the Hong Kong police force was out here a few weeks before that, maybe a month ago tops. I know it doesn't seem like much, but the Wampoans usually don't let police in here. That by itself is odd enough, but it gets even stranger. Police officers were loaded for bear too. Big guns and heavy armor with NPC seals, the warts. They went into the parking garage near here. There was some kind of gunfight. Never made it back out. When backup showed up, Wampoans chased them away.
They let cops in and chase them away.
That's exactly the kind of question you'd be asking. And the elders refused to answer when I asked. Go take a look for yourself, if you want. Watch out though, gangs taking up residence in there dealing drugs and BDLs. They call themselves the Red Spear. Not too violent, if you don't push them, but be careful what you say.
Tong wasn't afraid when he died. He was caught by surprise.
That's not what I would have expected. With the amount of mess at each scene, the victim should have left behind a hell of a lot of fear and pain. You sure?
Very sure. Tong died tonight, so the astral signature hasn't had time to fade.
There's only the sense of perfunctory accomplishment. Then it sounds like this wasn't a crime of passion. A planned attack would have that kind of resonance in my experience. It's possible the gore show is to throw off anyone looking for the actual reason. Yeah, if I wanted to kill someone to get away with it, I'd try to point the finger at some kind of monster. Basic Investigation 101. It's usually the simplest explanation, but don't discount other possibilities.
You think the mess wasn't incidental?
It's a possibility. Ask yourself this. If the mutation happened after Tong's death, why would a killer perform that kind of ritual? Serial killers who engage in that kind of ritual don't feel perfunctory about it, in my experience. It tends to feel more like they're taking communion. It's a religious or sexual feeling most of the time. If this didn't feel that way, then I don't think the killer is actually pathological.
Tong was killed by a bladed weapon, a single strike to the base of the neck.
That's a precision attack. Most knife fights end up a lot of solid cuts and blood over the victim and killer alike. If Tong was killed by a single strike, he definitely wouldn't have seen it coming. You bet your last Nuyen, whoever killed him is highly skilled with a blade. That says to me that the attack is either a professional hitman or a practiced serial killer. Could be both too. Assassins don't tend to be the most empathetic people. Was the attack a thrust or a cut?
It was a slash. Why?
The wound was a thrust. Your attacker was using a knife of some kind. Anything over about 10 inches would be pretty hard to thrust at that kind of angle. Next too high for a longer blade. If it's a slash, look at a sword or a cleaver attack. Both those kinds are popular with the triads. They make an awful mess and send a message that they're not to be trifled with.
See you later.
Okay, let's see. We got the parking garage there now that we can go into. Kaida, what's up? This dumb-looking man is busily hawking a variety of grilled spherical treats of various sizes. Some of them are sold individually, some are skewered as sticks. Excuse me. And just you and some dango, takoyaki, maybe a nice nikomon. That's a work bun with a Japanese twist. Excuse me. Any kind of tasty Japanese treat you can imagine, I got it. Maybe some curry fish balls are your speed. Kaida will give you your heart's desire, providing that desire is on my menu.
Let me have some dango.
Your wish is my command, good sir. Kaida definitely pulls one of the dango sticks. The carton drops it into the grill. The small robotic arm slides out from the carton and begins turning the stick into the balls of rice and flour, toasted brown. Lifting them from the grill, Kaida dips the entire stick in a tub of sticky brown sauce before handing it to you. The snack has both a sweet and salty flavor, reminiscent of sesame seeds and soy. The balls inside are pleasantly warm and surprisingly chewy. I like eating raw dough, but without the attendant chalky taste. Leans back, studying you intently. The tread projections from his cart cause his face to be lit in a constantly shifting array of rainbow hues. So, what brings you to my garden, my friend? So now it's just a street food.
Looking into the killers of the Rampoan elders.
I've been hearing a lot about that. Haven't looked too closely, though. It's none of my business, you know?
What's with all the Trid screens?
You like them? I love Trid operas. Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, it doesn't matter. This way I can watch all my favorite shows without missing a beat. And I can work at the same time. Pirated Trid is my other business. I wrote the streams in the Matrix, tap right into the corporate feeds, and resell them on the chip out here. I wish I could pay the bills, but my food cart's a lot better at that. I don't know why, but most of the other Rampoans seem to like sim over Trid. They don't know what they're missing, though. One episode of 1,000 Cranes of Autumn, and they'd be hooked for life. I'm just at the part where Orin has convinced her love to Takayama, and he's got to get his mech suit out of the front lines of Mars, so he can't be with her. Downright heartbreaking, I tell you.
Sounds like an interesting show, alright.
Oh, you have no idea. 312 episodes chronicling a noble mech pilot and tumultuous love affair he has with the space station governor's daughter. The pathos, the majesty, the Battle of Lagrange one spans 5 episodes just by itself. For some reason, I guess it didn't resonate with the wider public. I don't know why. Who doesn't want to see a Trid video about giant modeling robots, love, betrayal, and spies? I gotta stop myself where I get it right. Was there anything else you need?
Lucky, tell me half the people here.
We're tech heads, deckers, riggers, tip pirates, and everything in between. If I had to define this place, I'd say it's Asians mecca for people like us. As for the elders, I'll kind of give you the basics. I'm not small fry, so we're not exactly on social terms. Basically saying the same thing as everyone else, so blah, blah, beep, bloop. Oh, it's a killer addicted to cybernetic implants. He always had to have the newest and freshest gear. Funny thing is, I've never seen him fight. Kind of got the impression he's a coward. He'd rather let one of his buddies handle a problem than do it himself. All I know about Tank is that he loves drones and does a little decking. Okay, boring.
Got any thoughts on the murders?
Yeah, ignore them. I saw the crowd down at Tong's Sensory's Carnival earlier tonight, but I didn't know the guy very well. I'm a Trid fan. He likes Sims. Not a lot of crossover between us.
See you later.
Okay. I'm gonna if we start talking about the elders, unless there's something there, I'll just kind of cut by. Oh my goodness, so many people to talk to. Okay. It's like I'm doing a real investigation or something. Okay. Imposing troll stands in front of a stall overflowing with weapons of all sorts. Ho there. You look like a man who understands the value of self-defense. Breaker who at your service. And I can promise you I can help you defend yourself. What do you say? Want to take a look?
I'm more interested in information.
Yeah, well, tell me what you want. Maybe I can help you out.
Know anything about the murders?
Just that the elders have been getting hacked apart. Try to stay away apart from that. No sense painting the crosshairs on my own forehead, right? Nobody important I am to keep it that way.
What are your impressions of the elders?
Can't say I associate much with them. They organize big trade deals with the Loho Joa pirates, the triads, and legitimate businesses. He tells us that somebody's been blacklisted and dispense justice when someone breaks the rules. Beyond that, leave us alone. I leave them alone. Just not important enough to register on their radar.
Know anything about Elder Magpie?
Never met her, thank God. She ran with the Deckers mostly. Since she dealt in chips and software, I heard she was hard to work with. I think the phrase I overheard was that she shrieked like a harpy with a fresh corpse. I don't know. You should ask Zippy, though. He's a sharp one with the deck, and he'd know her better than most.
Aside from Tom, who slings the BTLs around here?
Red Spear Gang. They run up in here sometimes, but don't cause any trouble. Check out the parking garage south of here, though. They usually hole up in there. Step light, though. If they don't know you and cop an attitude, they'll put you in the ground. Funny thing, I heard there was a shootout with some Hong Kong police in the garage a month ago. I was away in Beijing at the time, so I didn't see it directly, but Everyone's talking about when I get back.
Why is that funny?
Because we don't let the HKPF in here most times. We shoot them if they try. Every time they come in here, it's bad for us because they're always looking for a scapegoat. Why would the elders let them in? And no one knows.
See you later.
Alright, Moe. Can you believe this? They got 4 bootlegs of Echelon 60, the unreleased Enoch and Keys double chip show for Brazzaville, but absolutely 0 chips for Shotgun Bloom. This all stuff is pretty second rate. You're right, that does suck. Shotgun Bloom's one of the best bands I've heard in years. Easy. See, your friend gets it. Real talent, that crew. Like nothing I've ever heard before. Oh, Janebe, at your service. Decorator, technologist, music fan. You're not from around here, are you? You don't hold yourself like a native.
I'm from UCAS.
I thought so. What brings you out here?
Trying to find out who's been killing the elders.
Oh, that's nasty business. They're tongue-tied tonight. I don't know who or what they pissed off, but it seems like a really bad scene. I'm trying to keep my nose out of it. Still, I like this place. Is there anything I can do to help?
Can you tell me about the One Bowens?
We're a collection of freaks, geeks, nerds, and tech junkies. This place may look like a third one bizarre, but believe me, we have stuff here that's cutting edge in most every field. Maybe it's not as advanced as stuff the Megas have in their development labs, but it's as advanced as anything else you can find in a store. People come from all over the world to buy and sell here and work out deals for big shipments. We've got contacts with every pirate and smuggling group in the South China Sea, and every major syndicate and gang in the Free Enterprise Zone knows not to mess with us. Not only are there a lot of us, nobody wants to lose what we're selling. Red Dragon made a play 4 years ago, but we chased him out. Shooed them off back to Home and Tin, and they've never been back.
Good for you. That's how you survive.
And it's all about playing the angles. Yeah, I pissed them off, but when we sold goods to Yellow Lotus at a discount. And in exchange, Yellow Lotus get them off our backs. You don't have to beat up the big guy to win. Just have to make him step back so the other big guys see he's off balance. Stand-up fights are for the Megas. We're about survival, just like everyone else in Shadows.
Know anything about the murders?
Trying to stay as far away from that as possible. I'm not connected enough to hear anything important, and all the talk about monsters is just plain dark. I'm not afraid of monsters, but I don't want to get their attention. All I know is a couple months ago we had elders Nakamura, Nutunde, Gan, and Magpie. Now we don't.
Heard about Magpie. She sounds like she was kind of vicious.
To be blunt, she's a hateful, shrewish old badger of a person. There's always her way or the highway, but she butt heads with all the other elders over damn near anything. Last fight she had was with Tang over something or other. I guess she ended up throwing some of his micro drones into a deep fryer and threatening to kick his ass around the block.
What was her line of business?
Matrix gear. Your shop's called the Checkpoint. Not very imaginative, I know. She always had the hottest programs, best chips, made some killer decks for anybody willing to pay her rates. Cosplay a new one, but she was one of the best in the business. At least in Hong Kong. If you want to know more about her, you should talk to Zippy. Yeah, we know.
What's your area of expertise?
I'm a decker. Used to be a company man for years, pushing codes on their servers, three little cyber peaks that get into our secure systems. Made a pretty good living. Have my own place on the 48th floor of the corporate skyscraper. It's the kind of thing the CMs teach you that everybody reaches for. Dream life.
So, what went wrong?
Found out the company wasn't what I thought it was. Sure, they paid me well and kept me in creature comforts, but I suddenly looked over some misfiled reports while cleaning out the company data store. Turns out the company's security riggers had gotten drunk and blabbed about some project or another being over budget and behind schedule. That's not good. It'd be a fireable offense, right? Well, I guess everyone was worried info would hint their stock ratings by a fraction of a point or two. So they fired the guy with a .308 round right through the skull.
You should have known that's how the corporations handle problems.
Well, I sure as hell know it now. When you get a wake-up call like that, it really opens your eyes. May have only been a fraction of a point, but that's still tens of millions in win. Guess I went beyond a firing offense directly into murder territory. What's worse, since I now knew about both the project and the murder, I could be next in the firing line. I knew I wasn't worth the expenses on down, as long as I kept my head down. So I came out here looking for like-minded deckers. I guess I ended up staying because I could get a semblance of community out here, and I couldn't get that many other places.
See you later, Mo.
Alright, so first let's go talk with the elders, and then we'll check out the parking garage. Oh gosh, so many people to talk to here. Hold on. How are we going now? Yeah, let's talk with all these folks. materials. Okay.
Show me what you got.
Crap. Okay, never mind. Bye. See you later. This one sports brilliantly hued hair that shifts colors is scintillating with every passing moment. She's powerfully built. Natural athlete or someone who works out a great deal. Notably, a large shotgun rests in the arcade cabinet next to her. She affords you a short glance as you approach. Something I can help you with there, friend. You're throwing off my game, and I'm trying to beat my best score.
Tank or Europa? I haven't seen one of those cabinets in years.
Me neither. Managed to find this one near by accident. I heard the music and thought, hold on there, Rainbow, you know that tune. After a few moments, Rainbow's game is suddenly over, her tank obliterated by a barrage of air-to-ground missiles. Piss on your ma! Right robbery, that was. Right then. You don't seem like them poets. You're all a mite touched, yeah? Maybe you are too, but we don't emphasize it like they do. What's your story?
Looking into the murders that have been happening.
That's some nasty work. Body's hacked up, trying spitting out of them. Make sure you're loaded for something big and ugly, that's for certain.
What are you doing in Rumpoa?
Hey, I'm big game hunter these days. I get into strange places, look for some kind of fairy critter I've not seen before, and I put a bullet in it. Only the nasty ones, though. No point in hunting a Taliscat or such. It's only things like gargoyles, Baragus, and whatnot. All the work I did with them in my youth does a good job of keeping me alive. I was out in Jakarta last year hunting one of them Indonesian vampires. You ever heard of them? Call them Liaks or Penegellans, depending on who you ask. Their heads and guts come out of the body cavity and they fly around like a giant messy pile of pasta. Took me 2 solid months to track her down, but I did it. Once the job was done, I asked myself, okay, Rainbow, where's the best place in East Asia to find some action? So Hong Kong it was. All the bigger concentration of valley critters than you usually find in the city. Been spending a lot of time down here in the storm drains these days. Heard a rumor of a rat king down there, where a mess of devil rats get all tied together into some kind of big, awful rat beast. Haven't tracked it down yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time, yeah?
Where are you from?
Can't place the accent. Born and raised in Dublin, down on the banks of the Gilliffe. Spent most of my early life there, working security on sacred spaces, historical sites around developed land. The Green Movement was big in those days. It was a bit like being a park ranger. Sure didn't it beat some dead-end desk job, yeah! Spent a lot of time around County Dublin and Wicklow. Always loved animals, and I found out being a ranger put me in close with them. It was a good time, yeah? Making sure the budding new species like the bogies and centaurs did upset the ecology of Wicklow National Park much. Also kept the nastier bits like HUCJ. Your guess is better, good as mine. From running mock across populated areas. What's that? And eat whiskey? And then each blah blah blah. It's just the word for water, which is how whiskey got its name. It's a cannibal horse, basically, if you never heard of that. Be glad, it drags you into the box to kill you. Sometimes people call them kelpies. I've heard of kelpie. On account of the water plants they pop out of. Anyways, as I was saying, the problem was I started to develop this weed knack, just a small thing. I keep magic from working when I'm around. Spells don't go, spirits fall apart, and the fairy critters get real feisty, yeah? To make things worse, this was around the time that Liam Collar threw his coup and formed Tir Nignog. With all this fancy talk about elves and ancient magic, this was a bit scandalous to have a woman guarding ancient sites that wasn't just mundane, but also killed magic around her. So I got fired. You're older than Tir Nignog? Bang on, and I don't look a day over 25, do I? I am Irish, not one of them noggins. Pack of punters, a lot of them. Always going on about their ancestral lands and glory of the past and all that bullshit. I saw them kick dozens of old Irish families off their land just because their ears were pointy enough, or they didn't meet some stupid arbitrary criteria of old nobility. It's the kind of thing that brought back the IRA, just like in the bad old days of the Troubles. Skivers in the new tier didn't pay for the land they took, they just had a pack of bullies with guns. Always been sympathetic to the little guy in a fight. They offered to pay for my help, so I said yeah, simple as that.
So you became a terrorist?
Don't be so dramatic. They fixed me up with the cyber suture and gave me a lot of the kit that I got in me now. exchange for going overseas to work for them. Smuggling, running guns, making contacts in Europe. Same kind of shit all revolutionary groups do. Seeing as how I got my own fam kicked off their house, I was glad to do it. Still do work for them these days, but there's a lot less of it. Lady Day cracked down on the dissidents, but good. See you later, Rainbow. I think one more person to talk to before we go into Elder mode. Alright, welcome, sir. Welcome to Quack Etley, home of the finest clothing in Wimpoa Garden. How may I serve you? I didn't expect Wimpoa Garden to have a tailor in it. Many people don't. That's the mistaken impression that we Wimpoans are only interested in technology and the Matrix, but even technologists need clothing, yeah? Many of us gravitate towards the line of works there. Added protection is required. I myself am a material scientist, as well as a keen follower of fashion trends.
What kind of material science?
Fiber related, of course. Primary aramid fibers, graphene composites, and dilitons. It affords me a certain unique perspective when designing clothing that's not only beautiful, but defensive as well. I specialize in high fashion body armor, similar to the kind crafted by Securitech or Vashon Island, but much more of a personal touch.
Show me what you got.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, bye-bye. I can't afford the 4-armor one, but yeah. Alright, is there anything we can do for you?
So, questions. Why don't you tell me everything I need to know, like hiding stuff? Why'd you let the HKBF into Wimpoa Garden last month?
Taken aback by the question, where did I put my water? There it is. When his composure does return, he speaks deliberately and great care. We generally don't let the police into Wimpoa Garden. It's true. But in this case, we made it an exception. The police were very polite and offered to look the other way over some of our deals with the Loho Joa pirates. They also made it clear that we refused. They might not only take an interest in our deals with pirates, we could call in the Special Duties Unit and force their way in. We propelled the Hong Kong police for support, and they tried to push us around. We could probably drive out the Special Duties Unit as well, but the cost and blow would be too high. Since they weren't hunting or Wimpoan, we saw no reason to refuse their request.
So, what were they doing in Wimpoa?
They didn't say, and we didn't ask. The HKPF isn't exactly forthcoming about their business, and we found that the less we know about their interests, the safer Wimpoa is. When you take an interest in the police, they return the favor. As far as I know, they went to the parking garage, there was a gunfight, and the police never came out. More showed up a few hours later looking for their missing officers. We didn't let those in, though. We just delivered what was left of the bodies to them.
Why didn't you let them in?
We were willing to allow the group of 4 in because they asked politely. When the reinforcements arrived, there were over 30 of them. We couldn't risk police setting camps in our streets. It would have been a circus and disrupted our lives and business.
So, why didn't you tell me about Elder Magpie?
Why would we have? Her departure from the Wimpoans isn't related to your investigation. It happened before the guns began. I'm certain she's just off skulking somewhere. No doubt she'll come waltzing back next month, all full of attitude that life dared to go on without asking her permission. If she does, we'll welcome her back despite her problems with her behavior. Her skills make her extremely valuable. I've taken over maintenance of our Matrix infrastructure in her absence, but I'm nowhere near her level. The best I can do is ensure nothing breaks down until she returns.
I'd like to take a look around her shop. Do you have the key?
Yes, but there's a lot of sensitive equipment in there, including our community servers. We don't let anyone who's not one of our component elders in there. Why would you need to look around there? Excuse me, listen, you wanted me to find a killer. If I'm going to do that, I have to explore every possibility. I'm your investigator. You hired me. Very well. Take the key and look around. Just don't break anything or shut the servers off. Was there anything else?
Nope, bye.
Okay, and next stop is the parking garage, I believe. Okay, oops, sorry. Got clicked off there. Okay. Actually, wait a second. I think I do want to go to Jack Point first. Where is that? I think it's here. Yeah. Display case. Alright. Chips, peripherals, add-on modules for cyberdecks, blah blah blah. Search the bin. Let's look through the display case so I'm looking for anything that might be interesting. Isabel looks past. That's interesting. There's a lot of storage memory, IO handlers, and active memory in this bin. I'm not seeing any NPCP hardware, response increased chips, or anything related to the hot shit decking Magpie was supposed to be into. In fact, you can't even build a full deck with this. Without the NPCP, it'd just be a glorified comlink. What do you think it means?
What do you think it means?
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say somebody cleaned her out. NPCP, response increase, biofeedback filters, and all that. They're easy to move, expensive, and highly illegal. All the rest of this crap is good, but it's nothing you can pick up at any electronics shop. You'd have to know what you're looking for, though. Only a good decker would know what they're seeing.
Could Magpie have taken them with her?
Isabel gestures over to one of the other displays. A pair of small cyberdecks sit inside the lock case. I guess so, but if she did that, why would she leave the completed cyberdecks? No, I think this was theft. Thank you, Izzy. Let's open the server and hopefully not break it. Front of the server's case hangs open, and their machinery quiet and without power. A clipboard is stuck to the side by a piece of duct tape. This paper is filled with long lists of programs and their prices. Quick glance over the program sheet reveals names like Bugs, 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 and Blockhammer. Undoubtedly, this was Magpie's attack program storage machine. Somebody's removed the drives, and it sure wasn't Magpie. Here, look. The main drives were disconnected properly, but it looks like she modded the server to have a backup drive with its own battery-based power supply. If it was Magpie, she'd taken that too. Crap, this is a Fushi XB1000. Looks like the battery power ran out a while ago. The XB1000s are constant write drives. They're dirt cheap and don't have a ton of capacity, but if they run out of power, they lose their data. We're not going to be able to get anything off the drive. Magpie's desk is kind of messy. Most people only associate with rats' nests, hoarders, and deckers. The surface of the desk is littered with cigarette butts, half-finished cans of soy cap, and scraps of electronics. A towering pile of empty instant noodle bowls sits next to it. Their sights are emblazoned with "Honest Rings Instant All-Time Limit," and depict a line of top hat wearing caterpillars dancing with canes. Well, okay. Sweet mother of God. Deckers, man, I don't get it. Why the hell wouldn't you pick up after yourself at this where you work? Isabel shrugs. She was probably busy. When you get in the zone, you have to keep at it. That's just how it goes when you're in the Matrix. She probably had a timer in her deck to remind her to toggle back to meat, space, and eat. Someone looks at you, giving you a pointed glare. If I ever have to get in the zone that bad, promise me you'll punch me in the head. This place is gross. Search the desk. You gingerly root around the desk, doing your best to avoid the more disgusting piles and spills. That is not easy. The desk drawers are stuffed to overflowing with receipts, cigarette packs, optical chips, and cables. Most of the contents are boring, useless, and disgusting. While searching one of the bottom drawers, however, a low-quality tin lockbox catches your eye. Someone has pried the latch off, leaving a ragged hole where the lock should be. In the interior of the box is several seats for storing keycards, all of which are empty. A small note is taped to the interior of the box. Spare stockroom keys. The door is in the rear of Miss Yang's restaurant. Do not lose these. Use only if I'm not available to open the stockroom. The stockroom, huh? So who broke the lockbox to get the keys out?
Probably whoever cleaned out Magpie's equipment.
I'm thinking you're right. Whoever tore the latch off the box was in a hurry. Any of the elders could have cracked the maglock without much trouble, and most regular opponents could do it too. This seems like somebody was tossing the place and wanted to get in and out as fast as possible. If someone was after Magpie's gear, her stockroom would be a gold mine. You search Magpie's bathroom. There's not much in here. Toothbrush, toilet paper, some hairpins, and a collection of cheap makeup. A combination bath shower unit, however, is minor flakes of a dry reddish subject near the drain. Blood. Dry blood. Prying open the drain cover, it looks like quite a bit of it was shed as well. Shit. Maybe I didn't take a trip after all. With that amount of blood, I'm guessing someone killed her quietly and then drained her body in the bath. Make it hard to relocate.
Clever. That's careful.
Nope.
This doesn't seem to match the killer's other scenes, though.
I'm thinking there's a lot more going on with these murders than we were initially told. First, they don't even mention Magpie to us. Now it looks like she's been killed. Something's not right here, Slane. Let's not mention this to the elders, though. If they're hiding anything, they may start cleaning up their tracks better. Okay. Let's talk to Porter one more time. Nothing there. Okay. Maybe Zippy since he knew Magpie the best. Nope. Okay. Alright. Then let's go... Oh, wait. Let's go to the detective. Nope. Okay. Let's go to the parking garage then and take a look around. And we might get into our first fight! Hey! What's over here? Okay. Alright, well. Oh boy, this is a lot of people. That's far enough, guy. The woman hefts her weapon, tossing a nod towards the ganger behind her. This lot's our turf. If you're looking for a fix, you're welcome to trade. If you're not here for business, clear the hell out. You try and wander around on our turf, we're gonna have to air you out. So what do you say? You looking for a little pick-me-up? A little nitro to give you some pep? Maybe you want some chips? Take that edge off? You want it? I got it.
Can I look around this garage?
Man, are you deaf? What the hell did I tell you? No, you goddamn well can't wander around our turf. Idiots with no memory.
Oh, do you know who Kylie Cheng is? I work for her. She could do you some favors in the future.
Okay, that's a compelling argument, but why don't you care about the garage?
I'm investigating the murders of the other elders. The gunfight with the HKPF might be related.
Huh. Well, we're only set up here because the original occupants are too scared of ghosts and demons to come back. There's blood and floor, so what? Elders told us it was alright if we moved in here. Seemed happy to have us camped out, honestly. We just wanted to sell chips, that's all. Knock yourself out. Oh, wait. One second. Oh. Alright, cool. Alright. So that's why you have a troll with the etiquettes of academia and socialites. Because you never know. Surprise! Surprise, charming troll. Alright, so let's investigate these bloodstains. Dry blood and bullet holes pockmark the floor, pillars and walls of the parking garage. Judging by the amount of blood staining the floor, multiple people died here. To call the scene bloody would be to do it a disservice. This was a massacre of tremendous proportions. Look at this, Slade. Duncan points to several scratches on the floor and the pillar. These scratches look like they're from a long-bladed weapon like a sword or machete. That matches the wound on Tom's neck. Our killer must have fought with the HKPF in here and cut them apart. With a number of bullet holes in the walls and cars around here, they must have just been spraying wildly. Duncan checks the chamber on this assault rifle. I tell you what, I don't want to have to fight this maniac at close range. Dry blood and clots clog the drain. As you look closer outward, something catches your eye. Off-red color, it doesn't match the hues of the core around the train. Bending closer, it appears to be a small nugget of some kind. I'll slide him out. Nugget, upon closer inspection, is a chunk of some kind of synthetic ferroplastic. It's got ragged edges as if it was broken off of a larger object. A number of small markings are partially obscured by scratches. Academia!
I shall decipher the emblems.
Brushing away some of the dust, you appear at the primary bit of ferroplastic.
The scratchings and markings on the nugget seem vaguely familiar. After a moment, it strikes you. You're not seeing the entirety of the markings, as the rest are mainly the parent piece of ferrocrete. Were the scratches to be completed, they would read Renraku Kingaku Kabushige Gasha, the Japanese name of the Renraku Applied Sciences, the branch of the Renraku Asia responsible for materials science.
Wasn't there someone that did material science? The tailor. Yeah, let's see. First, do these people know anything?
What happened in the fight here?
As far as I know, some police showed up looking for somebody. They got in here, all of them got killed. Whoever they were after was long gone by the time we showed up. Used to be a lot of Wimpoans living here. They all cleared out, muttering about ghosts and shit like that. Anything else about the murders? Nothing much. Tell you what, though, I got a guy named Kang. He was down in the storm drain system last week. Something was moving down there. Big, too. Man-sized. But wasn't speaking any language Kang understood. Kid beat back here fast as he could. Dumbass dropped his storm drain key on the way out, though. You want to go looking for whatever it was, you ought to get a new key from somebody. Kang stole his from a city worker. Who else might have a key? There's a guy named Border Lamb who's got keys to pretty much everything. He's somewhere between a cop and a handyman. I'm gonna also mention some elf woman with crazy colored hair who managed to scam a key. Said she hunted fire critters down there. Devil rats and shit. Alright, see you later. Alright, I'd rather talk to Rainbow versus Porter because like Duncan said, there's probably some sort of conspiracy going on, and the less that we have to do with the Wampowans, the better at this point. So we'll talk with the materials scientist, and we'll talk with Rainbow. So first, hello.
Do you know what kind of armor this piece of...
No, actually, excuse me, this is academic.
Excuse me, do you know what kind of armor this piece is from?
Perhaps let me see it, and I'll tell you what I can find out. Japanese markings. I don't recognize all of them, but the first one is Renraku, very recognizable to anyone who's used to seeing the name in Hanzi. The composition appears to be high-density ferroceramics, probably boron carbide with an interwoven bioaramid mesh. The staining on the edges suggests it contained pockets of silica suspended in polyethylene glycol, similar to commercially sold gel pack technology. This armor could have withstood a significant amount of impact force. Even standard 7.62mm rounds wouldn't have much of a chance of penetrating it.
But it's still broken.
High velocity rounds with tungsten carbide penetrator would be the most common. This is the kind of thing armor-piercing, discarding sabot rounds were designed to defeat. A die-coated melee weapon could do it as well, but there wouldn't be this kind of splittering at the edge. Same case with X-explosive rounds. We'd see spalling on the backside. Whoever shot this off the owner came loaded with the right kind of weaponry to get the job done, that's for certain. And you don't carry that kind of ordnance around unless you're sure of what you're facing. It's just too expensive for common carry. Well, conspiracy! Conspiracy, I love conspiracies. Hey, good to see you again.
You have a key for the storm drains?
Of course I do. How else would I get down there to look for strange, creepy crawlies, eh? Why do you ask?
Can I borrow it? I want to investigate something down there.
Aye, sure. Watch your step down there, though. Drains are a mite bigger than people normally expect. Best of luck!
See you later.
Alright. Let's do it. Down we go. Yeah, so this is going to be a longer stream. I want to at least finish the run before ending it, so... Uh-oh. We might have combat soon. Let's see, let's take a... Whoa, wait. Body parts? The disgusting pile of stinking human remains smells strongly of blood in the first stages of decay. The arms, legs, and organs here are heaped together like stacked firewood, leaking blood and gore across the floor. The parts contained therein appear to have been sliced away from the parent body rather than torn or bitten. Judging by the clean edges on the cuts, the blade used to sever these parts were extremely sharp. This is a whole world of messed up slain. You think the killer stashed these? They're stacked. They've been organized.
This is our killer, alright.
Looking closer at the pile, one part stands out. It's a severed forearm and it's covered in tattoos. Words in the Slavic language and shining lighthouse adorn the forearm, and ring-like images are inked on each finger. On the back of the hand, there's a skull inside a square. This arm belonged to a Vor. These are criminal tattoos. Lighthouse Shodies escaped from prison or plan to. The words say all police are dogs. The skull inside the square means he served in a Persian term for robbery once.
What's a Vor?
Vor's a thief. The Vore Vizakoni is the name of the organization. Thieves in law. They have strict codes and police their own, but they don't sever arms and leave them in a pile of gore. Despite the darkness, you see something glitter at the edge of the drain. Looking closer, it appears to be a necklace chain of some kind. It's become caught in the drain's grate, narrowly avoided falling down the deep pit. Alright. Lifting the necklace out of the drain, you turn it over in your hand. It's a simple silver pendant on a chain. This silver pendant depicts a long-tailed bird in flight. A magpie. Oh dear. Oh dear. all coming together, folks. Anything this way? I don't think so. Okay. Oh, hello. As you round the corner, you hear voices speaking just loudly enough for you to make out coherent sentences. The speakers are definitely not local. They speak with a slight Slavic accent, and their clothing is heavily armored. Around them are a bunch of crates and boxes, all mostly filled. Looks like the group is packing out. Yaroslav says the boat will be ready tomorrow morning. He's gotten everything arranged with Port Authority. We move the goods to his warehouse, we handle loading them onto the ship, and we get paid right there and then. I'll be glad to be done with filthy place. Patooey. I will too. I hate having to hide in these damn drains. It stinks down here. I hear the devil rats running around down the walkways. It's a mess, and it's disgraceful. We shouldn't have to put up with this bullshit. And Alexander still isn't back from his little trip. I'll have to leave him behind if he doesn't get back soon. I know, Galena. Till Audrey says we're in the clear from the triads, we can't be seen with the goods on the street. They find us, we go back to Vladivostok in sausage casings. Those Red Dragon Mudaki don't screw around when it comes to protecting their turf. Who knows? Maybe Alexander was stupid and they cut him. Either way, we'll have to lug this crap through the drains for a few clicks. Several boxes near the two women bear a distinct label, a magpie in flight. The same emblem you saw stamped on Magpie's equipment in her shop. The workwoman sniffs the air suspiciously, and her eyes dart toward the dark tunnel you stand in. Before you have a chance to get out of sight, she locks eyes with you. Or lifts her chin as she regards you, cracking her knuckles. What have we here? A curious little pest, come looking for things that don't concern him. What do we do with pests, Galena? We break them, Velisla. We hammer a spike through each of their throats, and anyone who sees their bodies knows not to meddle in our affairs. I suggest you stay where you are, pest. I'm not here to meddle in anything. I'm just looking for a serial killer. Well, you found some, friend. Us. You think you can just walk out of here after finding us? Think again. Oh, how do I want to answer this? Oh, do I want to be, we've been smart, this whole thing. Let's go, Hulk.
Try it. I'll feed your face to your friend over there.
I'm gonna decide to go right as you speak. You think I'm scared of you?
If you aren't, you're an even bigger idiot than you seem. Stand down or face my wrath. Shit.
You don't care about what we've been doing?
I have a job to do. This is incidental.
So what do you want from us then?
We took Magpie's key cards, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Alexander took one earlier. He said he wanted to sweep the stockroom, see if there's anything worth stealing. Here, we don't have time for this. We have to move this gear. You want to play detective? Go right ahead. Is there anything you can tell me about the murders? You think we get out a lot? I wouldn't even bothered, known there were murders if I hadn't bothered to come out to get some soy cap last week. None of our business. Okay, alright, let's go up here. Alrighty. Despite the table's crude construction, an artfully laid meal awaits the owner. Several small dishes are filled with pickled vegetables, while a larger plate is arranged with long slices of raw meat. The meat is a pale pinkish white, like raw pork, and is covered in a light soy marinade. Probably the raw meat, you discover it's surprisingly tender. What's more, it has the faint aroma of marinade as if deliberately prepared. Leave the meat alone. I'm not that hungry. I already had that rice thing outside. This box is packed full of odds and ends. It nearly overflows with a collection of knickknacks, souvenirs, and assorted personal effects. There's no rhyme or reason to the collection of the items. They appear to have been thrown in haphazardly. Among the contents are charms from various temples, a wooden mask, and a paper fan. Well, what's up with the mask? The mask is extremely light. It's been painted a pale white, and the surface is almost as smooth as porcelain. Delicate features and lifted eyebrows are, excuse me, matched with bright red lips and delicately carved teeth. The teeth have been stained a deep black. Alright. The small charms are square pot packets, each approximately 1 inch wide and 3 inches tall. They come in a variety of bright colors and are embroidered with characters for prosperity, peace, wealth, and protection. Again, prosperity everywhere. Inside each appears to be a folded paper prayer or fortune written in Japanese. Unfolding the fan, you tilt it upwards towards light to examine it. The image depicts an ancient. I've been talking for an East Asian city from the 19th century or earlier. Curved roofs at sunset beside a deep blue river. 2 ships sail down the river, which is in turn spanned by a long wooden bridge. In the foreground, laborers carry buckets along the shore as a man on horseback rides in the opposite direction. In the distance, a pair of large red buildings dominate the city's skyline. 1 temple hall and 5-tiered pagoda. Alright. As you step away from the box, you hear a slight click in the distance, the sound of a door latch shutting. You're no longer alone in the storeroom. Oh, hello. Hello, guy. Standing before you is a man clad in heavy armor and bearing katana in his hip. His skin is an ashen gray, his eyes are dead white. His teeth are jagged, and appear quite sharp. This is no man. This is a ghoul. The ghoul's blind eyes search back and forth as it regards you. It cannot see you, but you have a sense that it knows exactly where you are at all times. Ah, a hired gun. No doubt brought to bear against me by the Wimpoan elders, a means by which they can lift the curse plaguing them. I salute your tenacity, but I won't. Will you hear me out before raising your weapon to kill me?
You don't seem interested in eating me.
Yes, and I am not only talking, I am reasoning as well. And since you have not attempted to kill me, your own higher faculties are engaged. I am a curiosity to you. You wish to know not only what I am, but what I have done. As for who, you may call me Gaichu.
I know who you are. You're the one killing the Wimpoan elders.
You are correct. I have killed all the Wimpoan elders to date, though only Elder Magpie was according to my initial plan. I regret the deaths of the other elders, but it was necessary.
Explain it. Wait. What does Gaichu mean?
Harmful insect. It is the name I have taken for myself, since the word is usually applied to pests, especially ones who drink blood, such as leeches and mosquitoes. The first character means injury or evil influence, and the second means insect or worm. This affair began simply enough. As you may surmise, I am not someone who can be seen in public without great risk. Wimpoan Garden is an excellent place to hide. No police or triad, and minimal interest in the things that lurk in the shadows. Unfortunately for me, Eldrin discovered me through communion with her spirits. Rather than kill or chase me away, she came to me with a proposition. Many of the other elders were having problems with one of their number. An elder named Magpie had been holding many of their plans hostage and would not budge. They could not remove Magpie, however, because their services were too useful to the Wimpoans at large. And they offered me payment to dispose of Magpie, and I accepted. Who shoots you sidelong glass? Why the hell are we talking to this thing, Slane? It's a goddamn ghoul, you know what they're like. Really? What, pray tell, am I like? All teeth and claws and bad manners, I expect? Really? You want to crack jokes, you cannibal? Who takes an involuntary step forward, raising his rifle. You're the kind of monster that devour a family, just because it's convenient. Remember the 162 Slane? He's just like them.
162s were a gang move in the Barrens.
Like that makes a bit of difference. Go on then, talk to the monster, but I'm keeping my finger on the goddamn trigger. I believe that we were speaking of the other plans that me kill Magpie. Surely you must be curious about that.
You didn't clean up all her blood. I found some in a drain.
Ah, unfortunate. I had thought I was careful enough. Having it on my hands must have obscured my sense of smell enough that I missed the last remnants in the drain. I disposed of Magpie's body by emptying the blood in her bathroom. Then I cut her into more portable pieces. I was replaced in a plastic tarp, which I took to the storm plains and hid. It's unfortunate, but my survival depends on the consumption of raw metahuman flesh. Letting such nourishment go to waste would be a foolish error.
kill the other elders?
I contacted the elders, not in person, of course, and they arranged to exchange payment. I assumed that this job was done, it would be a woman of her word.
I was mistaken.
I arrived at the nearby parking garage the elders had told me about. They'd cleared out the other Wenpons under some pretense, so I'm not sure what words they used. The elders never showed up. Instead, several members of the Hong Kong police force arrived. They were more heavily armed than usual, so I suspect they knew something of my nature.
I saw the scarring on the concrete from bullets in the blade. You killed them with a sword?
And my hands, yes. My blindness precludes the use of ranged weapons, unfortunate, since I was an excellent shot before I became infected, but my skills in grappling and jutsu have only increased. A battle of swords is a clash of souls. Cue Soul Calibur. I miss Soul Calibur. Mitsurugi, or cheap tits, as it were, all the way. Lean back, stab! Lean back, stab! Lower kick, slice up. I was so cheap. Anyways, we're playing Shadowrun. Battle of Swords is a clash of souls. So I'm not going to get into that. Mine was stronger than theirs, and they perished. A betrayal of that sort cannot stand. Not only was I not paid for my time and effort, the Wenpon elders treated me like a common animal. I am so much more than that. Reputation is everything, and I had none. I hoped to build a network of contacts so that I would be able to continue finding work, but with that treachery, my hopes were dashed. I decided to become the monster that they feared. One by one, I have eliminated them. They know how to contact me, and could have ended their nightmare at any time by making amends. I would have asked for more money, but I would have ceased my hunt. Yet they did not. Instead, they contacted you, no doubt asking you to eliminate me where the police have failed. So I ask you, what now? What will you do? Will you attempt to finish what the Wenpon started? Or will you treat me with the same humanity I have shown you?
Let me ask some questions. Elders, what do they taste like?
Some of them, not all. My condition requires I consume raw metahuman flesh. I do not require a great deal to survive, maybe 3 or 4 rounds a week. Consequently, there is more supply than demand.
Is this from your armor?
Yes, I felt a ragged edge on one shoulder plate. I assumed it was removed when the police shot at me with the rifle. The hazards of war include unkept attire, unfortunately.
Why would the elders have killed you instead of paying you?
Any number of reasons. They're notorious cheapskates and will always try to save money when dealing with outsiders. It could be their natural inclination toward profit. They may regard me as subhuman and therefore unworthy of respect. It could be that they felt I was too dangerous to allow to live. It could even be that they simply did not like me. The net result is the same, however. They reneged on a deal we brokered and attempted to have me killed. A message must be sent and blood must be paid. As they have hired you to kill me, they have obviously not learned their lesson.
If I let you live, what will you do?
Kill the rest of the elders and anyone else they send to exterminate for me. It's a matter of survival. Should I ever have the opportunity to work freelance again, potential employers need to understand the price of betrayal. These murders are my curriculum vitae in revenge.
I've made my decision.
Oh, and what then will you do? How will the story end? Oh yeah! Get him on the team! Ching ching ching! 2 sword brothers! Ghoul and Troll!
Come and work with me. I can be your face.
A curious offer. What are the elders? Will you allow me the satisfaction of killing them?
I want to see what they have to say first.
I would counsel you not to believe their words, but you have the sound of one who is as wary as a matter of course. Very well. Let us wait until a bit later in the night. Most pedestrians will be off the street, and it'll be easier for us to approach a Wenpo without being noticed.
Sounds like a good plan.
As you approach, her eyes widen, her mouth falls open and the veins on her neck bulge. What are you doing? You brought this thing into our home! Quick! Kill it before he kills us! Bria has his pistol warily, but does not aim at anyone. Yeah, I have to say, that this isn't a good idea.
Why the hell is a ghoul in here, and why is it wearing armor? Calm yourselves. I am not in it, and your elders know this intimately. Good evening, Elderling. I can smell your fear, and I'm glad of this. It means you are learning the price. Betrayal. Whoa. What the hell is going on here? Can someone explain to me why this ghoul is talking? Gaichu had a contract with the elders, and they betrayed him. You dare to accuse us of conspiring with a monster and covering it up? You're insane! The very idea is preposterous. Harder nods the elders, looking back to you with a wary expression. I'm interested to hear what kind of evidence you have to support this theory's claim. As far as I can tell, this monster killed Tong and the others, and that makes him a threat that should be eliminated.
The elders hired Gaichu to kill Elder Magpie and make it look like she disappeared.
You believe this, vermin? This creature that feasts on metahuman flesh and kills and dismembers our tribesmen? You're a naive and foolish man if that's the case. What proof do you have that Magpie is dead? Nick, please. In matters where an elder is accused of breaking our law, the other elders generally judge them. In a matter where all of them have been accused, I am authorized to act as judge. Make your case, Shadowrunner.
I found Magpie's necklace in the storm drains.
Porter takes a moment to examine the necklace and nods at you. This is definitely Elder Magpie's. If you found it in the storm drain, that's suspicious, but hardly proof on its own. Of course it's not proof. A number of things lost down storm drains in Ongon must number in the tens of thousands per year. While unusual, it's hardly evidence of foul play.
You forget that you didn't notice this large amount of blood in her shower drain.
So what? Perhaps she cut herself and washed the cut off. Perhaps you were mistaken about it being blood. You're simply guessing as to what happened. That's true, it's a guess, and even if it is her blood, that doesn't prove the elders hired this ghoul to kill her. The elders have always protected Wempo with regard to the best of their abilities.
She hasn't been seen in a month, not by anyone. She wouldn't disappear just like that.
That may be unlikely, but it's nearly impossible. You haven't established that the elders were involved. All you did is make suppositions about it. What proof do you have that we hired and betrayed this creature? We won't sit by and listen to idle accusations without any concrete evidence to back it up.
What about the fight with the Hong Kong police force?
What do you mean? What does that have to do with the elders and the ghoul?
This piece of Gaichu's armor I found in the garage. The markings on it prove it.
This is from his armor, definitely, but how does it prove that the elders knew of the ghoul's existence? The police officers were abnormally armed and armored, with much heavier gear than a normal patrol. They were armed with armor-piercing, discarding savage rounds. That's hardly standard issue. Lesser evidence wouldn't have broken that armor plate. If all they were looking for was a common fugitive, why be prepared for a might of that magnitude? Obviously, they knew what they were searching for. That doesn't mean we did.
The evidence in the garage points to a fight with someone using a sword.
We allowed the police into Wempoa Garden because they were hurting someone. They never told us who or why they were looking for their quarry. It didn't have anything to do with us.
I was only in the garage to collect payment from them. The ordinary residents were warned of the HKPF's arrival and were gone by the time I arrived.
He's angry upset. That's suspicious, I admit. Still doesn't prove that elders knew it was the ghoul.
You Rempoans don't allow police inside the area. Why? Make an exception this time.
The police were polite and asked our permission to enter. They were hunting a non-Wempoan. That was reason enough for us to allow them in. That doesn't add up, Ning. Why would the police ask us for entry now? They've never been polite before, and they've always tried to force their way in here. It doesn't ring true to me. Did you ask them to come in order to hunt down this ghoul? Preposterous, Porter. You know what our community is like. We wouldn't lie over something like this. This ghoul's been lying the entire time trying to cover his tracks. He still brutally murdered several elders. That's true. Those murders were vicious and cruel. I don't see any way to explain it that away. This ghoul's a monster net for how he killed Tong and the others.
Tong's body was a mess, true, but he died quickly from his sword blood to the neck.
I struck Tong down with a single blow from my sword. The mess made of the body was to send the elders a message. I had no desire to make Tong suffer. At any time, Ning and the other elders could have made amends, and the killings would have ended. Instead, they hired a Shadowrunner to kill me. It's not about cruelty, it's about sending a message. That's not what I would have expected looking at the body.
You killed him before you dismembered him. That's right. And he killed the other elders in a similar fashion. There is no cause to prolong their suffering. The message was for the living elders, not the dead. The elders wishes to treat me like a monster, I will terrorize them like one until they have paid reparations for their mistake. Come on, you can't possibly believe this crazy story. It's absolutely insane.
Yet Tong was not tortured. There was no astral residue of pain or fear. He never even felt a blow.
That's correct. I struck a single blow while his back was to me. His death was instant. Regrettable that he had to die for your folly, but necessary to protect my reputation. You cannot believe what these people say. They are not to be trusted. And even if this is true, he still killed Tong. Maybe so, Nin, but a monster would not take Tong's suffering into account. He may be a killer, but he's not heartless.
The scene of Tong's murder, like the others, was his deliberate sham. It was made to look more horrific than it actually was.
I believe you. The blood smeared on the walls, the removal of the skin. That's a scene designed to evoke horror, not the scene of an actual fight. Elders, what say you in response? This is a farce. We've dedicated ourselves to protecting the Wampoan tribe and everyone who lives in Wampoan Garden. Do you really believe outsiders and monsters over our word? We, who have only tried to end the killings? You've been duped, Porter. You and his Shadowrunner. This Shadowrunner, excuse me. I concur. Porter, you know me. You know the kind of person I am. I wouldn't be party to the killing of another elder. I can't believe we're even entertaining the notion that we've got to defend ourselves. We should be disposing of the school instead. And if you think I'll forget this, you're sorely mistaken. I will not tolerate this kind of insult. Excuse me.
The elders were all too happy to have the red spears move into the garage, almost like they wanted to keep anyone curious about the fight away.
That's right. If you even told me not to go find out what happened with the fight. You said the red spear gangers were moving in and leave them alone. Why would you tell me not to look into it? I was only trying to protect you from the red spears. They're dangerous, which is why I wanted to deal with them directly.
Magpie's gear was missing. Obviously missing. Why didn't Ip tell me that? Why would he would have had to have noticed, and Magpie's shop is locked up. Why didn't he want me investigating?
Pure supposition. What, you think it proves something that I didn't notice? The equipment was missing? Magpie's shop is always a horrible mess. Tang, you did a full inventory of Magpie's matrix servers. You assured us everything was running fine and you'd be able to continue your work. I find it hard to believe you missed something as obvious as her missing equipment, especially while searching your stock.
That's what I have.
Alright, I think I have some idea of what's going on here. And, what do you believe the real story is? Gaichu seems to be telling the truth. Booyah! Yeah. Elders, too many facts don't add up. You're obviously hiding something, possibly a great deal, from the rest of the tribe. I'm sorry, but I have to take you into custody until the committee can decide the extent and manner of your punishment.
Death would seem appropriate to me, especially given they kept this charade even to you, one of their most trusted citizens. Sorry. So I might mix up the voice because he's angry. Don't you dare talk to me like that, you disgusting beast! Ip begins to raise his weapon. Por reaches out to stop him. Ip reluctantly stops. Ip, no. Don't make this any worse than it is. Thank you, Slain. I'll make certain that justice is meted out. You are free to go, and I will ensure payment is delivered to you, so long as you take Gaichu with you. I cannot have him staying here. He'll be coming with me.
As you exit and go into the sweltering night and all the air of the Kowloon streets, Gaichu turns to face you. I confess, I am unhappy with the decision to allow the Wampoan elders to live. We should have killed them, if for no other reason than to maintain our reputation.
What's done is done. Let it lie.
That is a fair point. You have done me a great service, and I will follow your lead. Shall we leave? I'm eager to be done. And so am I, because we are just going to go ahead and save it here. Yeah, we did everything. All we have to do is return to Hawaii. I guess we might as well finish the mission. You don't start a run and not finish it. Okay. Yep, let's go.
Oh gosh. So something I've been thinking about, because we are getting closer to getting the actual store opened up. Um, Hopefully, what inspections will be next week. Crossing fingers, but I think I'm gonna push back streaming to just Tuesdays and Thursdays because as we're getting closer, I need to make sure that we get a lot of stuff done. But I think I'll be streaming from like 7 to 10 instead of 7 to 9 normally. So we'll have longer streams. It'll just be on Tuesdays and Thursdays instead. Because yeah, I definitely want to be able to help out and get that stuff done. But anyways, Hoy. The NTR rockets noiselessly towards Hoy along the edge of Kowloon Bay. Blackwater glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflected storefronts. Gaichu stares sightlessly out the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The plot by the elders is exposed, and Portoland is in your debt. You have a new ally, and their respective Wampones. Sometimes everything goes right on a job. You can count yourself lucky that this is one of those times. Yeah. I've never seen a run ever go smooth. This is probably my first time that a run has ever gone smooth like this. So we'll go ahead and head to, whoops. So we'll just head to get our payment. To end the mission. Vid, about those dreams. Gobbett's face winks into the screen. Oh, hey, Seattle, I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. What did I just say? That this is a recording. It doesn't matter if it's a bad time. Anyways, I was thinking about that talk we had about the dream talk and nightmares and stuff. I've got a friend here in town. She runs a parlor at 5 Phases. It's sort of a local magic shop talismonger. Yeah, we spent a long time talking with her last dream. Anyway, she's smart, really smart. Her mom is some sort of local authority on all things magical, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If you want to ask anyone in town about those dreams, she'd be the right one to choose. She taps on the laser pointer with her thumb, and it goes dark. The rats immediately attack one another, rolling off red and falling out of sight. She gets up her head, rising out of frame. Anyway, just thought it might help. If you're alright to talking to Crafty, please regards this message. Alright, I'm out. Peace! Attending a party. Selene, I need you to come to the parlor. A friend and business partner of mine named Dr. Shen Yang has need of your services. Something about attending a fancy party in Repulse Bay. He was unwilling to give me the details. I think he wanted to size you up for himself. Alright, from Isabel to Selene. Duncan asked me to do some digging on my own into Raymond's history. I guess he doesn't trust Kyan and Ching to give him the full story. I can't say I blame him since she tied things from us if it was in her best interest to do so. So I've been poking around various corners of the Matrix trying to dig up what I can. Most sinners leave a data trail the size of an aircraft carrier in their wake. Working backward in time, Raymond starts out that way, but slowly tapers away into nothingness. Sure, I can find some basic records in Seattle, but the further back I get, the less I find. The crazy part is, prior to 2032, I can't find anything at all, and that shouldn't be possible. It's like Raymond didn't exist before then. I don't know, I'm gonna keep digging, but it'll take me a while. I'll let you know when I get some news worth sharing. Opportunity. Yo, come see me when you get a chance. I have trading opportunity. Maximum law! What's up? He's so crazy. Alright. Let's see. Open jobs. Claim payment. Assume that the job is finished. My opponents tell me they ousted all their council of elders. Something to do with you exposing their efforts to cover up their own mess. It isn't the resolution I expected, but I think it's acceptable. If there's one thing I don't trust, it's people who don't pay what they owe. Thankfully, my opponents are more reliable than me and their allies, and so am I. Your payment is attached. Ugh. That's not very much. Oh, sorry. I don't need that. Let's see. Anything else? I know a lot of you are interested in that 50k HKPF is promising in connection with the terrasil they're hunting, so I've been digging around for some better information. I think I got some stuff of value. Turns out they had a handler here in Hong Kong by the way of Raymond Black. The HKPF tried to take him into custody the day before, but was forced to kill him in a shootout. Looks like Black and the terrorists are members of the White Star group out of Vietnam. Isn't White Star all about restoring Imperial China? One of those terrorists they killed was obviously North American. Why would she be helping a pro-imperialist group? You got money, you can buy any kind of person you need. You're on the Shadowlands, man. You should know that. So, what do we know about Black and his band of thugs? Anything we can use to track him down? Yeah, I've been able to dig up says Black was from Manon, and was distantly related to the royal family. He spent a couple decades in Seattle making connections in the shadows in preparation for an attack on the Free Enterprise Zone. I attached some dossiers on his remaining agents. Used to a long stream of data detailing who you and Duncan are. While the general details about your name and life are correct, many of the small details are wildly inaccurate. You're listed as having lived in Laos for the past 4 years, while Duncan is known as spending most of his time in prison. You wanted to pursue Galbet and Isabel's ostensible biographies. The dossier lists Galbet's real name as Yu Chun Gui, and her birthplace is Zhang Shenzi. According to the contest, she is 23 years old and served with the Baihu corporate military until conviction for insubordination led to her dishonorable discharge. While you can't be certain Galbet doesn't speak Mandarin, the idea of her being in the military, any military, is downright laughable. Isabel, in turn, is listed as Fatima Abukar. Apparently, Isabel was educated at an early age in terrorism and piracy by the revolutionaries of the Ithomalian territories, and is wanted in connection with the bombing of the 2052 bomb attack on the French embassy in Johannesburg. Given that you know that Isabel grew up here in Hong Kong, this information appears to be as laughably inaccurate as your own dossier. Poesy Bash. Alright folks, we're trying again, this time under a super secret code name. There's no telling how long this will last, so let the bashing begin. Super secret code name. You just read the words poetry slammed through it. Thesaurus. Poetry, people, not complaints. Thief on the run, signs are in the dark. The rat shaman lurks. Got one for the coyote shamans too. An unbound trickster. This shaman fears no peril. Wily coyote. On a roll, Jivey. Here's another one, if Mad can stand it. Pulses of light glance out bright chrome. Translucent spheres encase my treasure. Mirrors and tubes and neon implode. Another day in the Matrix. Hey, I can do traditional. I happen to burrow the haiku because less typing. Gossamer tresses, infinity in your gaze, very pointy ears. Extra points for using gossamer correctly in the sentence. I like elves. Giant Bird is still the master of haiku. In fact, oh graveyard creeper, ashen skin, spindly fingers, and claws freak me out. Alright, Shakespeare, is this trite too? This thread's getting locked and you aren't doing this again. Got me? This works for deckers who want to talk shop. There are plenty of other forms that you can use for your stupid amateur poetry. I suggest that you go find one. Top shelf sublet. Like the title says, good location, cheap rent. Serious offers only, please. What do you mean by top shelf? As in a fancy corp condo? How'd you manage that? No, man. There's top shelf of the converted maintenance complex that I live in. You're joking. No joke. It's cheap and the location's good. Right near Temple Street Night Market. And it's super fast access just in case you need to get in and out of the Matrix quick. I'm not sort to ask questions. There's just about enough space to stretch out your legs lying down. There's a ceiling hook for your gear. What do you say? I don't know. I need a place to, but still. And a shelf in the shared closet? Screw that. I got a sweet pad rent that you can have all to yourself. It's not Victoria Peak or anything, but it's a bargain. Where's it at? Kowloon Walled City. It's one of the new construction units on the outer edge. I'll throw in a second ceiling hook. Deal? Okay, message me and work out the nitty gritty. Seriously? The Walled City isn't that bad. My apartment is huge and even has windows. I'll beat Harbor Rat's rent. In fact, just tell me what you want to pay. Hello? No one wants to live in the Walled City. Looking for an experienced decker for a discreet milk run on a supply house for purveyors of recreational substances. Potential for a longer-term arrangement. We're a team that's been together for years, running your basic heists and occasional transport gig. We've got a reliable fixer and a long list of happy clients. Requirement, you must have a good sense of humor. Hey, are you willing to give a newbie a shot? I've been in and out of the Matrix since I was in school. I raised some creds doing odd jobs, so I got a hot new cyber deck I'm itching to try on a real run. I don't know, man. We really like to find that long-term decker, and you kind of don't know shit. You said so yourself, sorry. Oh, come on, you said it was a milk run. How else would a Shadowrunner start if not with an easy gig? I'm being upfront with you. Doesn't that count for something? Fine, I got a test for you. You hack this guy, Captain Scone, and change his password to erotic massage. I'm on it, thanks. I'm done. Am I in or what? Say yes, say yes. What the fuck? Amazon, can I introduce you to our rigger, Captain Scone? He'll make a fine addition to our team. Thank you, you won't regret it. You gotta stop getting people to hack me, Gibby. Or you'll be looking for a new rigger next. Ah, you know you love me. Let's claim payments. Yay, got a little more money. I don't know what else. So, okay, all right. So we did that. We got all sorts of stuff to do with whoops. With everything, but yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and save. So, where do you save? Oh, I just saved. Okay, cool. Oh, that was a silly long run. I apologize about how long it took. Thank you all for being patient. So basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and exit this. And let's see if this works. Ah! There we go. Or actually, wait a second. Boop. Hello. So, yeah, that was definitely a run of sorts. Let me close this out here. Yeah, we did get a samurai. He might eat us, but yeah, you know, that's what happens. Anyways, yeah, I hope everyone had fun with that. I am, like I said, I'm going to be switching the schedule to just Tuesdays and Thursdays, going from 7 to 10, maybe 6 to 9, I don't know. I'll see. But yeah, I just need to kind of spend more time at the store to get it ready to open, because that's, I mean, I really, really definitely want to keep streaming after we open, but I definitely gotta, you know, I can't do this every day and still do work at the store and stuff, so, yeah, anyways, we'll hopefully have, emotes next week sometime. I want to thank, Fool. I don't know if, watching, oh no, they're watching there. Anyways, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to stream from the store after this, and it'll be like, all right, I'm in the middle of the combat. Sorry, I didn't mean to rock it that much. I'm in the middle of the combat. Wait, sorry, customer. Hi, how's it going? How can I help you? Blah blah blah. All right, I'm back in it. All right, let me get started. Let me get started. Oh, be right back. Okay, all right, I'm back. All right, let's finally. What's if you're ready for that for about 3 hours, then yeah, let's do it. No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'll just be streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone hanging out, watching me do a combatless run. That was really good. I'm happy about that. Couldn't have gone any smoother, in my opinion. And yeah, so I think with that, though, I am definitely going to go ahead and say farewell for now. I'll be back on Tuesday with more Shadowrunning. Either leave comments in the YouTube or message me or Discord or whatever. Let me know. Do you want me to like skip all the talking stuff and just concentrate on the runs, or do you like the kind of the backstory and stuff like that? I like doing it. I'm starting to be able to actually do voices. I think the more I'm practicing talking and stuff like that, it's kind of bringing stuff back and stuff. But yeah, like playing a game with me at the store. Yeah, yeah. It's so hard to do anything with me when I'm there. But anyways, you all take care. Have a good rest of the night, and I will see you all on Tuesday. I'll make sure to post on Monday if it's going to be at 6 or 7. I don't know yet, but it'll be a 3-hour stream. So like this one. But yeah, all right. You all take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye, Zels.